Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Oops, I gotta turn off my excess. Quiet, Dave. This is me, Dave. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 866th episode of the long-running, hilarious comedy and whatever it is program, Dave's Gone By, featuring me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, and of course all of you watching at home, as you have been for almost 20 years, and we will be talking about that later in the show as well. So it's great to see you on this rainy morning, beautiful morning though. It's just, we're always happy to see the rain because we moved to Maryland about 6 weeks ago. And when we moved, it was the middle of a heat wave that lasted almost a month, day by day by day. I think we had one rainstorm in the whole 3-4 first weeks that we moved here. And so all the lawns were trying, no matter what we did, no matter, we could water in the morning, we could water in the afternoon, we could stand there and watering or put, the sprinkler heads back up. It didn't matter. Didn't matter. The sun was going to burn everything to a crisp. And then for about a week, it clouded up. It got about 10 degrees cooler, and the rains came, and it's been like that ever since. Hello. Oh, my adorable wife, Joyce, are you cold?
No, I just didn't want to take the hood. I put the thing on and tied.
She's wearing a cute little
hoodie.
Cute little hoodie outfit, and she looks like a sperm.
I feel like I'm an elf. Whoa.
Oh, a spermy elf.
It's raining.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is a rainy day, but it's pretty.
Yeah. Look at the trees.
And so we've been very happy, even though, the whole point, we got this patio furniture like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And we're so finally, we have patio furniture because we have this beautiful backyard. We want to sit out and watch the animals and just sit the
watch
beautiful
all
flowers.
Of our special animals.
Yeah. And then we get there, and for a night or two, it's lovely. After teaching and grading and doing all the stuff we have to do, we come out there just to relax, to talk, to sit and view, and then suddenly it turned like 50 degrees at night. And like, you want to sit outside? Nah, I think we'll stay in and watch, zipping through Facebook or something instead. So I'm hoping we're going to get some more 70-something degree days next week. And then I want to go back out there, even if I have to put on a jacket and a hat, just to enjoy our yard for a few more times before the weather kind of makes that untenable. But anyway, this is not on 10, on 11, on 15. This is the 866th episode of the long-running show, Dave's Gone By, which mixes humor and talk and culture and interviews and all the kooky stuff that we do week after week after week after week here on Dave's Gone By. Listen, we also have all our... Where are my other noisemakers? I think they're all up there. I've got my tambourine should be somewhere. Oh my God, we need, no, nothing. Oh, there it is. I have my snail-barine. So we're absolutely all set to give you a great show. So let me tell you what's going to be on this episode. I think that's all we need. Joyce's opening drawers. I think, yeah, those are it, but what are you looking for?
The red noisemaker.
The red one? I don't know. Oh, no. Oh, where could it have gone? Oh, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, we'll manage.
Yeah, it's okay.
So.
Oh, we got this one.
Yeah. So, on this episode of the show, first of all, Joyce and I are going to yak about nonsense for about half an hour or so. Then we'll have cool stuff. For example, Greeley Crimes and Old Times. We do this basically every week based on actual news story in the Greeley Tribune, real actual newspaper. And
somebody wants to make an appearance.
Oh, okay. In this newspaper, there are 2 columns every week that are based on actual live events. Oh yeah, isn't that beautiful? Scary. This is the name of the show. It's called Ghost Town. Let me hunker down. Hold on, there it goes. Ooh, there. Episode 866, Ghost Town. Tell you why we call it this in just a moment, because we are still a month away from Halloween. But, well, let me tell you, so Greeley Crimes and Old Times, 2 stories that were in the newspaper, or are in the newspaper every week in Greeley, Colorado, based on real things. Phone calls that come into the local police department. The burp again. Phone calls that come into the police department about weird things in the neighborhood, and also a cop log of Megan's cop log 100 years ago, where our friend of the Daverhood, Mike Peters, looks at the newspapers back from 1922 and finds the weirdest, goofiest things to share in the paper. But here's also why we call this Ghost Town. So, our very last in-person guest before the pandemic hit, and this would have been February or March of 2020. I need to look it up, and I could pretty easily. But just before the pandemic hit, we had a guest come over. Actually, we're living in New York. Came to the house because he was living locally to talk about just our, he had been my coworker and my boss for a period of time when I was working at Yes, thank you. When I was working at Playbill.com, he was my, he hired me. He and the publisher hired me. And so I worked for him as a writer, and then he left and I took his job. I was managing editor, and then stayed in that job for about 5 years. So meanwhile, he was also doing all this other stuff. He was writing books. He was helping Louis Bato write those At This Theater books. He was writing.
Didn't you also write? You wrote the series about.
That was different. That was the Burns Mantle.
Yes.
I helped with those. But Robert Viagas, he also wrote a book about the Fantastics, the long running off-Broadway musical. He wrote a book about a chorus line, and was doing all this other stuff. And for a while, he was involved with Playbill and Sirius XM radio. So doing all these things. And, our paths kind of diverged and diverted for a while because he went back to Playbill. I moved away and started, living the rest of my life elsewhere. And now he's retired, right? He isn't doing that anymore. He's in great shape. So it gives him time, certainly during the pandemic, to write books. So he's written more stuff. And he has a brand new book coming out just in time. Why the wah?
They're scared.
Oh, a brand new book coming out just in time for Halloween. It's called Good Morning, Olive. And it has to do with, he'll explain the whole thing, but it's what a cool gift idea, both for Halloween and for your theater lover during the later holidays, about theatrical.
Or anybody named Olive.
Or anybody named Olive. Or if you happen to like olives.
Yes.
But Good Morning, Olive. Olive was a Ziegfeld girl. Okay, I'll give that part away. And she died at some point, as Ziegfeld girls do, as a lot of other people do. People have this weird habit of dying. But she didn't quite always go away, supposedly. So there are stories and lore of theaters all over the country that might or might not be haunted. If you know, I'm sure Robert will tell this, but when the last person leaves the theater, and the actors have gone home, director's gone, the audience is gone, the people coming backstage to shake hands and get autographs and what have you.
You got some questions.
All right. And the cleaners have gone home, the last person leaving the stage, all the lights go off, and they put down one singular bulb, and they call it a ghost light.
So Mary,
Yeah.
Mary, one of your biggest fans is saying hello, Dave. And Robert Callum said he's very sorry he didn't get to see you before you left. Where are you teaching? He wants to catch up. So catch up with Robert Callum.
Catch up, yeah. Now, you might take. I was very happy by mentioning catch up. So yeah, hello Robert and hello Mary and hello everybody watching. So, but you're in for a treat because Robert Viagas, who was on the show with us in person, like my last in-person guest back in 2020. He's done other stuff. You know how we follow the Friends of the Daverhood? He's got this new book called Good Morning, Olive, telling all these theatrical ghosts.
So the ghost light is for Olive? Is that the...
Well, it's for any theater. It's for a theater to say, either keep away the ghosts or be friendly spirits.
Really?
Yeah. Or maybe I'm...
So they leave they
leave
a light on all the time?
You don't, like a Broadway theater, you don't ever really leave it dark. You have one bulb, one lamp, Well, also, if you open up at nighttime, you come back at 4 a.m.
Yeah, but
It's not pitch black. You can see where you're
but
walking.
that's supposed to scare off a ghost? Why would a light scare off a ghost?
I don't know if it's to scare them off,
Oh, okay.
or if it's also to welcome them, to say, hey, it's okay.
You should ask Robert, yeah.
Yeah, well, I am, or I won't, unfortunately. I will not get to talk to Robert Viagas this time, because I did it last time. This time, we have the one, the only, just in time for the holidays, the Jewish Rabbi Sal Solomon will be with us live on the show, and he will be interviewing Robert Viagas, the author of Good Morning, Olive. And it'll be stories about her and other theaters on Broadway. And it's weird. Apparently some theaters, no problem. No ghosts, nothing, empty, dead, cinder block. And other theaters, no matter what show is in there, no matter what actors, no matter what the subject is, it doesn't have to be the M Shakespeare word.
Yeah.
It can be any. They have spirit. They hear knocking, they hear a door closing, and nobody's there.
But you don't think they're just affected actors?
Nah, I mean, there's even video footage they have of things of when they have the security cameras on, and in the middle of the night, for absolutely no reason, a blur goes.
It's like those ghost shows where the guy, they do like that nighttime, and then they're all scared, and then they're all like, "Did you feel that touch me? Oh my God, it's a ghost!"
Yeah, I'm sure 97% of these can be explained, and yet 3% we kind of like.
It's super scary.
What's up with that?
That's scary. That's really scary. I'm scared.
Are you really?
No.
No, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. So, he'll be telling us about the book and some ghost stories, too, about the theater. Robert Viagas talking to Rabbi Sal Solomon. Plus, Robert will stay on to play our weekly trivia quiz. The Dave's Gone By Today, Yesterday trivia game, where I'll be asking some questions of our panel, which includes Robert and our beloved Vicki Quade. Out in Chicago, the co-creator.
She's probably the Holy Spirit bingo. She probably switched for the holidays too.
Probably in a week or so. I'll bet you she's doing the Holy Ghost bingo.
Yeah.
There we go. That ties in Holy Ghost bingo with our ghost show, and Leslie Hoban Blake will be joining us to play the game too. And Leslie is the co-host of Two on the Aisle.
Who won last time? Do you recall?
I honestly do not. I think we had Moshe Denberg, but I don't think he won.
I think Leslie won.
I think Leslie probably won. Yeah, Leslie beat Moshe. Leslie does that. She comes like 20 minutes late.
She's like a dark horse. She's the dark horse,
Yeah, because she can't log on. She has all sorts of trouble with her cell phone and with her thing. And then she sort of zips in.
I think she lives in a building with so many people that the Wi-Fi is probably...
I believe it.
Stretched to its limits. Because sometimes even at school, I'll have like Wi-Fi problems, and I just think it's the volume of people using it.
Yeah. Last couple of days I've been here, I've been trying to talk to people on the cell phone.
Yeah.
And then you're breaking up, I'll go into another room, you're breaking up, and then they're breaking up.
Yeah, just take off the Wi-Fi off the cell and it's fine.
Oh, yeah, got to do that too. Anyway, so those are going to be on the show. Our Greeley Crimes and Old Times, Robert Viagas talking to Rabbi Sal, plus our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We are going to Colorado once more, as we've been doing for years now. We have a poem every week, about a different place in Colorado. And we lived in Colorado for about a decade. And so I took it into my crazy little David brain.
I'm going to check and see if you're...
I took it into my crazy little David brain to start writing a poem about all these different places in Colorado. Now, sometimes they're kind of easy, like everything rhymes with Vale. So, that was a Vale, then a sail, nail, but not so easy. I've counted more than 220 of them at this point. These disgusting, vile, rude, gross limericks, each one devoted to a different place in Colorado. And of course, the trick is you have to rhyme somewhere twice, because it's a limerick. So the first two lines and the last line all have to rhyme. And one of those rhymes really should be, and generally is, the place I'm talking about. So okay. You got Vale and, but try Pueblo. I don't think I've done Pueblo. Nothing rhymes with, not even Charlie Hebdo rhymes with Pueblo. So I'm still working on that one. And it's a cheat. You can't just do the blow part which, considering that the topic of most of these limericks would fit, but it's not. Oh, yeah, you can't fudge with it. You can't say there was a young girl from Pueblo who really was kind of a hoe. I always come back from Mo. No, it's Pueb. You gotta rhyme with a Pueb, and nothing rhymes with the Pueb. No. No, there is a choreographer, a theater maker named Elizabeth Streb. And it laid Elizabeth Streb low. But now find that third one. If you can help me out, that would be great. Email me, davesgoneby@aol.com, davesgoneby@aol.com, or you can post it right here. People I see are watching the show on Facebook, so post your suggestions. What possibly, besides Streb-low, rhymes with Pueblo? Because you're trying to rhyme a word with ebb. Ebb. The water will ebb. So, this may be next week's limerick. I'm creating it in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I don't have time for that. I do have time for other things, and those other things are on this program, and also stuff to talk about this week. For example, every time I wonder, because we are such a gender fluid, gender questioning society, and which is a wonderful thing. People can decide who they are and what they want to be, what gender they are, what neutral, non-gender they want to be. But sometimes I'm reminded that I'm a boy, and a guy, and a male, and a cis heterosexual male, and I'm reminded by this catalog that came. I'm going to tear off the old owner's address here, but a catalog that came. Never seen this catalog before. Never really want to see it again. But ladies and gentlemen, it is the American Girl, the Wish Book catalog. And I saw this in my and I'm like, oh my God! I am really, really obviously Jewish, and never, even if I somehow went for the operation, became trans, I would not be a lesbian, because this would not, I don't know. I let's just share some of the things in the American Girl doll book, shall we? Because this was so frightening. If you think about it, these American Girl dolls, let me show some imagery of them. What they did was, look at this thing. Look at this chick here on the motor, and I'll call her chick because she's on a motorbike. What they must have done was, after the big, enormous rage over the Cabbage Patch Kids, and they manufactured zillions of them, people bought billions of them, and then the craze went away, as crazes do, and then they had like thousands and thousands and thousands of Cabbage Patch dolls left over. They're like, let's slap a wig on that thing, take out a little bit of the stuffing, make the eyebrows a little more feminine, and hey, we have an American Girl doll, and there she is. There she is. And what's up with this chick? What's going on with that? What are they trying? Are they trying to make everyone look like George Clinton? I don't see. Wait, this thing with the hair is a mermaid? Yeah. Alrighty. I'm not going swimming. That's more scary than Jaws, if that is supposed to be a mermaid. Hold on, let me see what else we got here. I just opened this. Why am I not seeing more pages? Hold on. All right, well, yeah. Again, I guess they're getting women ready for when they're old and their hair turns blue in the light. So here's a or maybe this is a girl representing that progeria aging disease. So she's actually bald, but she's got this blue wig on to make her look cool.
That's a mermaid.
No, not this one. This ain't no mermaid.
No, this is what the kids do now. So you don't understand, David.
No, I do not.
A lot of women color their hair just any color.
True.
Let me see. That's beautiful. Let me see those.
Yeah, Joyce actually likes these.
Oh, that's like boho. That's like a boho, like
Yeah.
a hipster kind of. they're supposed to be like going, on holiday.
Yeah, these are for 5-year-olds. What do they know from hipsters?
No. But they also are. I like this series. But they're supposed to make the dolls look like if you go in New York to the American Doll, like what factory or store.
Yeah.
You bring your child, and they can make a doll look like your child. So the child can have a doll that looks like them. I think it's beautiful.
So here's the American.
Mine would have. Some have glasses too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here, the pilot uniform.
Let me see.
Is only. Can you read that? How much is the pilot uniform?
$100, I would assume.
Yeah.
No, not bad. It's only $38.
The uniform, not the doll. The uniform without the doll is $38.
This is really cute.
She like doll
I don't
houses.
like the skirt. It's too short. I don't like that.
It would be too short for you.
No, not for me. For the doll. Not for me.
Yeah, see this? I know we're trying to be multicultural, but just
let me see what they're doing.
Just freaking no.
No, they're saying, oh no.
No, this is like Debo mixed with Kunta Kinte. You don't do this. No, stop.
No, but they're trying to. Give them credit, right?
And I do. I gotta give them.
What is this? Oh, this is. Oh yeah, we don't want that.
I gotta give them all credit.
Let me see.
For just before the holidays,
oh,
understanding
kittens.
You're looking at the kittens. I'm looking at the friggin'
they have Christmas,
the Jewish holiday things here.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they had Kwanzaa and Eid. But let me see the kittens.
They have actually a challah bread. Here's the cats.
Oh, can we get a puppy?
Someday. Someday.
What about my fox? Can we bring the fox in?
No, the owl is cute. Look how cute this owl is.
That's supposed to be Harry Potter. That's Harry Potter. See it?
Yeah.
The different.
But it's a very cute looking owl. Oh, the whole gang of them.
Well, they have the different scarves for the different houses of Harry Potter. Felicia would know that. Tony's daughter knows all this.
And then of course you got the Halloween crap. Yeah.
Is there a ghost for Robert?
There's a boo crew.
And so Marion, I wrote, a lot of people were talking in the chat, so I wrote back. But then I also posted Robert's book on Amazon, and then I also linked, I also tagged him.
So here we go. Here's for the girl on the go.
What is that? Oh, it's the scooter. They love the scooter. She made the doll. That's the creator.
Oh, so that's kind of cool. I would wear this. Like now, this weather. The skirt's a little short. My legs would be cold.
You should
but
wear
this
that.
I would wear.
Let me tell you, I went to school where I had to wear a skirt as a uniform. You don't want to play sports in a skirt. You want to wear stockings underneath in case you take a tumble.
Well, she's wearing the
stockings.
And then there's this actually. When I was about to throw the magazine out, I'm like, no. They do have Rivka, the Jewess, and there she is. No, it's dark hair because you're not going to get a Jewish blonde. Peace, love, joy, and she's lighting. Look at this. She's lighting the Hanukkah candles.
Wow.
Except.
Can you light them?
What do you mean?
She's holding the one. How many are there? 8?
Well, that's one of the big problems here. Unless she's
holding this shamash.
This is the 7th day of Hanukkah, so it's not the 8th day yet. She's missing one of the candles.
Oh.
She's
holding it in her hand.
No, that's the shamash.
Oh, I can't.
She's using the one to light the others.
Oh.
So
what other toys does she come with?
Well, she's got. It's probably an $80 dreidel, and look at this fake gilt.
I'll tell you how much.
Please, I gotta know this. Rabbi Sal needs to know.
The doll herself.
Yeah.
Wait, no. The doll and book only. I don't know what that means.
Oh, there's a book.
Maybe there's a book, a Hanukkah book. I don't know. There must be a Hanukkah book.
You actually get a whole Talmud.
You get the Talmud.
It's the American Girl Talmud.
That is $115.
Jesus Christ! Yeah.
And then if you get her Hanukkah outfit, that's $44. And the menorah and dreidel, oh, that's pretty, are $50.
Leave it to the American girl to Jew you on Hanukkah.
No, but everything's expensive. It's beautiful.
I know. I think it's lovely.
For a young girl to have a doll that you could make, like, you could get the hair your color, they have glasses, they have dolls with all sorts of, like, every kind of, like, you could have a doll that's in a wheelchair, one that is, using a wheelchair. I really respect that's...
Dolls with hooks.
No, but David, you don't understand as a girl.
I know. No, I don't understand.
No, this culture has beauty ideals that are so screwed up.
Yes.
So to have dolls that actually look like, and a lot of the facial features really don't. It's like the same face, but just, I wish that the more dolls could look like real little girls, I think the more healthy we'd be.
Oh, absolutely. Big fat dolls, wrinkly. Well, girls don't have wrinkles really at that age.
If little girls have freckles, if little girls have whatever.
Yeah.
I had a friend in high school. She had like a port wine stain, like a big birthmark.
Oh, yeah.
Let
the Gorbachev American Girl doll.
But I think it's important to have little girls see themselves in their dolls and not have like a doll that's just so out there. I think that's beautiful.
And then you have the evil, scary, ghosty girl dolls who do stuff like this.
No, that's a pajama party.
But look what they're doing to the pillows.
Party? Yeah, that's the pajama party.
Yeah, but you want to clean up after this?
That's what girls do, but they don't rip the pillows. They just hit each other with them and giggle. That's what they do.
They do, yes. I used to do that myself.
Look at the puppy there, too.
Where's that? Oh, the little. He's very cute. He's almost dachshund-like.
Yeah, it's like Goofy.
Yeah. Well, that's more like Murray, eh?
I'm one of them. Both of them.
So anyway, this is the American Girl doll catalog. Came to us. It shouldn't have. It should come to the previous owners. After I just show this, where this gets to be just plain wrong.
Skiing?
I don't know what the hell this is. But
she's skiing.
With an owl.
That's her little man.
Headdress.
Her little thing.
Okay.
Let me see.
I'm going to give this to my wife. Here we go. She can have fun with it.
I'm going to make tea in a second, so if you want something, let me know.
That would be fine.
Oh, camping. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. This is such a cool thing. This is what Tony and I did.
These are American Girls
glamping. Tony and I
glamping.
took a picture like this when we were in Universal Studios where Felicia had worked.
Joyce is pointing to the one where they're on the scooters again.
And it was so nice. I see, look, they show you.
Yeah.
See, they show you here, like this is fancy, but do you see the dolls look like the girls? Do you see, that's
what
I'm trying to show you. Like this is a high,
yeah, this is like, let's have some extra money and throw it at the children.
No, but this is like their models, but it shows you that you can get the doll. I think it's so beautiful to look like your child. That's amazing.
Well, yeah, we live in amazing times, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing times for American Girls. And then there's this. This also came to us this week. And because I also don't want to show the address, but this actually came to Joyce because she's an alumnus of Hunter College.
CUNY, go CUNY, go CUNY.
And this is like all the universities do this. I think it's almost throwing money away these days that they actually put out these hard copy.
They think that because we have jobs that we're wealthy alum, but we're not. I get it from Columbia, which is a joke.
But they think that
I'm going to give Columbia.
I still get them from NYU. I haven't given to NYU in 20 years. I think I threw them $5 once when I actually got a job. So, but it's nice to get the magazine, but at the same time, it's not suddenly going to be the cost of their designing, printing, and sending out glossy color magazines is not even worth what they might get from the alumni but they do it. It's traditional to do it. Makes them feel good. So here's Hunter College. New book explores Hunter's 150 years. I get it. So they have now remember, these are grown-ups. These are serious grown-ups. This is not elementary school. This is not like where I used to work in a school district where our superintendent would dress up at any.
You didn't show Happy Lamaka.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's show that. That is really cute.
You have a Hanukkah shirt too. Okay.
So, at Hunter, for whatever particular reason, they're doing this. Now, as I said, our superintendent at the place I used to work, nice guy, gay guy. So any opportunity to have his own Halloween parade, he would. Christmas, Halloween, he would get up, he would go 10 extra miles to be in costume. But we're talking about a school district of kindergarten to 6th graders. Now we're talking about Hunter College. So we have a big 150th anniversary celebration. So we have some people who are there. Let me put this up against the screen there. So there's those women, and I don't get the big phase, the big fashion thing of giant glasses on your face. I know that there's that one designer.
Yeah,
it was her trademark.
It's like an older woman. She's 103 now, and she does it. She has very big glasses.
And it works for her because that's her gestalt. It does not work for everybody. Ma'am, just get yourself a pair of readers. I mean, you don't need to do this to your face.
Some people like it,
And then you've got a normally dressed woman holding a giant orange dildo. I don't know, unless that is a balloon. I'm kind of hoping it's a dildo.
I want a koala bear. They're cute.
And then a woman who looks like Rosanna Scotto from TV, except I don't think it is. And then you've got like I assume a VIP, a very important person at Hunter College, or maybe in their past or something. And he's showing up for this gala. this 150th gala, and here he is. It's like, he wants to be, I don't know, Dick Van Dyke, coming off more like Dyke Van Dyke. What, I don't know the circumstance, it probably fit, or he probably just thought, he did like I did at my undergraduate graduation from NYU, of all places, when I sat there in a Hasidic beard and paying through the whole thing outside. I don't know what was in my head. I was angry because I wanted to make a movie. When I was graduating from the film program, I wanted to make a movie. I never got to make it. I was voted out. You had teams of 4 out of a groups of 20 or 24 students.
We'll make it today. Let's make it.
Let's make it later on today.
Or maybe this week, huh?
Yeah, and it was all about. It was a Jewish theme and comedy and a rabbi, and it was so magical. So I just wore the costume. I'm like, what the fuck did I go to 4 years of film school for? So I could help light somebody else's project. I don't want to be a lighting designer.
Everybody else, when I graduated with the MPH, we also graduated with the medical school, and they stuck like medical stuff on their hats. Like people wore like. People at graduation do like crazy. Let me check your.
Well, that was the tradition also. We were in Washington Square Park, and everybody tossed their hats at the end into the fountain and stuff. We were showing what it's supposed to do. I didn't do it, but everybody went hats in the fountain, And then, of course, you had to go retrieve the hats, and you picked your mortarboard up and your cap, and suddenly there were 3 joints in it and a hypodermic needle, because those were the days. But anyway, what else do I want to tell you about before we bring Robert Viagas into the Daverhood, before we bring Vicki Quade and Leslie Hoban Blake later to play the yesterday trivia quiz. We also have our Limerick. We also have, Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Give me a pretty full and fun show. What we can talk about, though...
do you want me to you have the pictures, or I'll get my phone?
Oh, get the photos, please, yeah. Of our animals in the yard. Excuse me. So, as I mentioned several times now, having lived in Maryland for almost 2 months now, one of the reasons we bought this place, one of the reasons we sprung for this really nice house, is you look out. I mean, I'm in my office right now, and I'm looking out the side window, and it's just this beautiful yard. And okay, it's nice. You have a beautiful small yard, whatever, but we're rural enough, even though we're not
suburban, honey. It's called suburban.
Is it? Well, but it's not exurban. It's still suburban.
Yeah, suburban.
You look out there. People have. We're on a fifth of an acre.
So when you scroll, don't go this way. Is my health insurance.
I will not. So just go that way.
I'm going to start first with.
So we're going to go the other way now.
This is the little furry. Yeah, you got to just, and then you got to just.
Wait, which way?
I'll show you. You just get this one, and when after you show him.
I'll give it back to you. Okay. So, but one of the things we do love is we get bunnies.
Yes.
And it's just like, okay. And we get deer that I'll show you. Birds. And we actually got, and Joyce, because a week or 2 ago, we're like, what the hell is that? We saw this pangolin looking thing moving along.
Like Mr. Burns.
Yeah, and we're like, what the hell is that? And the gardener's like, oh, the way you describe it is probably a groundhog. You have a groundhog. And he's probably living under your shed. I'm like, yeah, haven't seen him again, but groundhog. And then the other night, 2, 3, 4 nights ago, we're looking around, and I see, and I'm like, that doesn't look like the groundhog. There's something else. There's something else out there. What is it? And Joyce ended up seeing yesterday that it is a small and very, very cute baby. Well, it's really hard to see.
He's a fox, but he's got, he must have broken his leg or something, or he must have been hit by a car and recovered, because he's very crunchy. He's contracted, and he walks kind of hunched, and he turned himself round and round, and I was doing slides about death and dying for my course, and so it's all about bereavement. So I'm in that mood, and I felt very sad. And then he turned around, and he cuddled up, head to tail, and he slept for about an hour.
Yeah,
he just slept there.
Maybe he was just tired. He was, maybe a little lame. I moved it to the next animal.
Yeah, and there's more. There's more of the face of them.
And these are about the best pictures we've had so far of our dear
tell
friend.
Them, you were debating whether to have your office face the yard or the street, and I kept voting for the yard because you could see stuff. And now every animal sleeps underneath your office.
So here's a deer. This was just yesterday.
A doe.
A doe. Doe! Doe the deer,
Doe deer.
sleeping right, just about 50 feet away, not even.
No, she was eating. She was laying
Oh,
and
she's
eating.
lying and eating. I don't know. They all have this weird kind of
Yeah.
marking or hump on their back where they were either injured or it's a burr or some maybe some animals they're always when they're letting their guard down, a little part of them
No,
says,
but I think she probably like got caught in a fence or something.
"Oh, that's not good."
Yeah.
So here she is again. I don't know if that's a better or worse picture. Oh, that's a pretty good picture right there.
Let me see if I can find more of the old deer ones we found.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we got a lot.
So that's been really delightful to be able to look out on that.
But none of them are perfect. They all have some sort of.
Yeah, we get. I was just talking about this morning about because we heard bird calls and things like that, and it occurred to me: are there birds who stutter?
Oh, this
and we just don't know it.
This is appropriate for your holidays.
Oh yeah, but I'll save this for Rob.
Okay.
But it occurred to me we can't tell as humans. We have no idea. We hear baka, baka, baka. And maybe there's other birds.
You want some of the early deer photos?
Sure. Maybe there's some birds. Oh, it's beautiful.
There's a couple. There's a series of him.
Little heart.
Now we have a family of 5, but I never catch them. They're very quick.
So that doesn't really. Well, you can see him running. It's better if it's smaller, actually.
Yeah, but there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
Right, the family.
So, but it occurred to me, like, if we hear bird calls, are there birds, like, near that other bird going, listen to Jake? Because he's supposed to be going, caw, caw, caw. And he's like, caw, caw, caw. And we think, oh, that's a beautiful bird call. And they're all going, man, he needs therapy. He needs to get in with a therapist and start working on the consonants and things. Mm-hmm. I do wonder if there are birds with speech impediment, stammering birds, birds who get tripped over one of their calls and just can't get through it, so they switch up in the middle, and we just think, oh, he's changing the song. He must have noticed some fox or something.
We don't know a lot about wildlife, honey.
Yeah, no, that's certainly not.
Which I think is a good thing.
Well.
Oh, remember your first friend in Maryland? Show them your first friend in Maryland.
Oh, I love him.
Froggy. That's the first thing I texted my mother, by the way. That's the first picture. She goes, I love David and his new frog friend.
Well, this was in the rest stop.
I know.
We were on the way from New York to Maryland. We were getting a lift there, and the driver, and we asked, hey, can we stop at a place in New Jersey? Because who doesn't want to stop in New Jersey? To just refresh, get a little food, and just have a quick pee. And the garbage cans at the rest stop outside, I guess to be cute for the kids, were these giant, green, beautiful, cute frogs. And so I went and took a picture. And I guess technically, it's not our first picture from Maryland, because that's still technically it's even before Delaware. It's back in New Jersey. But yeah, I would go back to that rest stop. I don't remember if it was the Joyce Kilmer one or the Molly Pitcher. Those are the actual names of the rest stops that they have there. Anyway, we are not resting. We are not stopping on this episode of Dave's Gone By, our 866th episode of the show. We're calling it Ghost Town. Because in just a couple of minutes, we'll have with us author and theater journalist Robert Viagas to talk about his new book, Good Morning, Olive.
That's great.
Before
The cover is beautiful.
It is, yeah. Applause Theater and Cinema books. They've been around for quite a while now.
You should write something.
Huh? I should. Well, yeah. When?
Why won't they do it?
No. When I have to convince them I have an idea for a book for them to publish, and then I have to have time to publish it or to write it. Little thing like that. But anywho, want to remind you that if you are interested in the history of the show, let's say you're tuning in for the very first time, you heard, oh, Robert, ghost stories, this is interesting, it's Halloween, I love theater, I used to read Robert Viagas and Playbill all the time, or I read his book about the Fantastics, I'm tuning in, you don't know this program. You can hear or see Robert's previous interview on Dave's Gone By just by going to our archives at davesgoneby.com, DAVESGONE BY, davesgoneby.com. Every episode, and this is going to be crucial over the next couple of days because, big news about the next show. It's there for free, as in all the early episodes are audio only, so they're MP3s. You can either download them or stream them directly on your computer. And then for the past 4 or 5 years, we've been doing, obviously, these video shows, and they're all there too. They're 2, 3, 4 hours long. You can watch them at your leisure davesgoneby.com. There's even a separate archive of all the interviews we've done. You can either watch the interview within the whole show, or we've separated out the interviews just for you.
That's great.
And the sketches that we've done and everything else, it's all there. Plus, we put our archives at archive.org. This is a non-profit website, which is upsetting for Rabbi Saul because he believes in profits. But it's a non-profit website gathering art and entertainment and literature from the past million years. As long as it's kind of public domain or they have permission, it goes up there and it can be so Dave's Gone By episodes, all of them are up there alongside old Abbott and Costello TV shows and Ray Fibber McGee and Molly.
Are they up there forever?
Archived.
How is it hosted?
They collect money. They're a nonprofit. They have to raise money. Okay. No, I think they literally just get grants.
Wow.
But they're pretty big. I didn't realize how known they are and big and respected they are. So it's
archives.com.
Okay. No, we got two people in the waiting room, and I'm wondering why already. Oh, because Leslie is trying early.
No, she tries. Yeah.
Yeah, God bless her, but she's half an hour early.
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you have your phone, I can text her. You want me to?
Don't tell her not to go away. Tell her we'll get to her 10:15. Yeah. But anyway, we have with us in the neighborhood.
Oh, here. I'm sorry.
Rabbi Sal Solomon coming momentarily to talk to Robert Viagas on Dave's Gone By. So Robert's written this new book. Rabbi Sal. He's finally learned actually how to read anything but Hebrew. So he wants to read the book very, very much by Robert about ghost stories of the theater. So let us bring in not the ghost, but the real, the one, the only, the live, the Jewish, Rabbi Sal Solomon. Hi, the diggle, diggle. Hi, the diggle, diggle. Hi, the diggle, doodle, diggle, 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 doodle. Hi, the doodly, doodly. Hi, the spiddly, doodly, diddly, diggle, 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 die. Oh, shalom, my friends. Shalom, my enemies. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sal Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And I am thrilled and delighted and excited and a little bit scared, a little bit shaking in my trousers, a little bit moistening my trousers, if you will, at the subject for this interview. Not at the man himself, not at Robert Viagas. Dave was a little scared of him when he was Dave's boss, but after that he was fine. So he is now a friend, he is now a colleague. He was on this program just before the pandemic back in the day, talking about his career in theater, working for Playbill, doing shows for Sirius XM, writing the books that he's written about the Fantastics and about Chorus Line. But now he has a brand new book that you can get just in time for Halloween. It's all about, ghoulies and ghosties and goblins backstage at the great theaters. So we're going to ask him some questions about the book, about the stories that he's heard, true or not, apocryphal or not. I know I've seen the movie Apocryphix now a lot of times. Ladies and gentlemen, won't you welcome to the Daverhood and give a big shalom and welcome back to Robert Viagas. Shalom, Robert.
Shana Tova, Rabbi. How are you today?
Oh, I love the way you're using the Hebrew. This is beautiful. The Shana Tova. Happy New Year to you. Even though it's not your New Year, you're a goy. But
I'm
Shana,
a giant shagets, that's true, but my first wife was Jewish, so I belong to a temple. I'm one of the few goyim who actually belong to a temple. I was the member of Temple Bethel in Fairfield, Connecticut. I was the Shabbos goy for the entire congregation.
wait a minute. What, why you lived on Long Island? You're working in New York, or
At that time, I lived up in Connecticut. I've lived all over the place.
I did not know this. Where are you now?
I'm on Long Island now.
Long Island. This is good. And I love the books behind you. You know, you are an honorary Jew because you have so many books behind you on the shelves. This makes you an honorary. And can I ask you that other thing on your other shoulder? Is that
Yeah.
an award or what is that?
That is the poster from the Fantastics. The original poster given to me by Tom Jones and Harvey Schmidt for my book, The Amazing Story of the Fantastics. By the way, I keep piles of my books next to me and I rub them.
Well, you're sex.
I have 21. I've published 21 books. Number 22 is coming out next June, but let's talk about 21 today.
Yeah, you have the Right This Way, the history of the audience. That's going to
That is correct. Oh, I happen to have a sample of the cover right here, but that's coming out next June.
Well,
This is the book that I'm interested in talking about today.
Okay, so Good Morning, Olive. At least, well, tell us the title. The title, Olive.
Boker Tov Olive.
What, sorry?
Boker Tov Olive.
Okay. Oh, you are. Yeah, are you thinking of converting? Because
No.
I do brisses too. And
No, my second wife is the Shiksa goddess, and so I'm going to stay where I am.
Oh, you told that story on the air last time, how you reconnected with your crush back in the day. You're still together. This is mazel.
Yes. My son just got married.
Double mazel.
That's right.
Double.
Right.
And so I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled at all these wonderful things.
Thank you.
But more important than your marriage and your kid and your book, you wrote a book. So the book is Good Morning, Boker Tov, as you said, Olive. Who is Olive? What does that phrase even come from?
Okay. You know, people put out books. They always look for like a scary title. Oh, thank you, Joyce. They always like to put out a scary title on the book, but I wanted to spark people's interest. Now, as you described earlier, I worked at Playbill for 25 years, and during that time, I was friends with Louis Botto, who did At This Theater. I then took it over when Louis retired, and Louis used to talk about these ghost stories, and he would tell me these ghost stories. So I kind of picked up on it, and I started collecting them, and to the point where people would write to me, and they'd say, I know this sounds crazy. You're going to think I'm nuts, but, and then they would tell me about a ghostly experience that they had at the theaters. And one of the first ones that I heard about was Olive Thomas. Olive Thomas, as you pointed out, was a Ziegfeld girl. She lived in the teens. That was the peak of her career in the teens. She appeared in Ziegfeld's Midnight Frolics, which was kind of a more adult version of the Follies, and it was done. Yes, it was done on the roof of the New Amsterdam Theater. The New Amsterdam roof had sort of a nightclub theater. It actually had hatches that could open up to the stars at night. It was incredible, and she appeared in that.
I don't want to break in, but I do want to break in that our shul has that. It's missing roof tiles, so we just can't make it. We call it a hatch. It's really
well. Maybe Olive will haunt there too. She was there, and she became just everybody's darling. She was gorgeous, beautiful. Olive Thomas was her name, redhead. And she was kind of swept up by Hollywood, and she went out to Hollywood, and she married Mary Pickford's brother, Jack Pickford. And Jack was a terrible playboy. And I don't know, is this an adult show? Can I say an adult thing on this show?
I've read a few terrible playboys. There was March of 1978 where the girl, the pubes, you couldn't even see anything. But no, I think you're talking.
They would get rid of them. Anyway, she married this guy, and he contracted a venereal disease, and he passed it on to her after he married her, and he had to take this medication. They used to give them this is before they had penicillin. They would give him this horrible medication, bichloride of mercury, and they were on a trip to France, and they had a fight, and she Did she accidentally? There are three theories here. She either accidentally took the whole bottle of bichloride of mercury, thinking that it was some other kind of medication, or she committed suicide, or he killed her. Now, it's hard to force pills down somebody's throat, so I don't really believe in the killed her.
It was a syrup. I didn't realize they were pills. Okay, yeah.
No, they were pills shaped like coffins because they wanted people to know that they were poison. That's what they would do in those days. They made them shaped like coffins. There's pictures of them on the internet. You can look it up, bichloride of mercury.
Anyway, look it up later, people. We're here watching Robert, and then you can look it up later after the show.
Okay. She took these pills and died, and in France. Shortly after she died, people at the New Amsterdam Theater started seeing her. She would come up to them and she'd say, "Good morning, fella." She appeared almost exclusively to men. And the voice that I just did, Rabbi, I'm imitating different people who have encountered her, who don't know each other, and they all imitate her the same way. And now,
but can you explain? She went out to Hollywood. Why wouldn't she be haunting MGM? Why would she specifically pick? Well,
there's a lot of theories on that. Sometimes ghosts, when they die traumatically, they're stuck in that place. But sometimes they go to the place where they were the happiest. And in Olive's case, it may have been the New Amsterdam Theater. I mean, she managed to get across the Atlantic Ocean. That takes a lot of moxie, whether you're dead or alive.
This is correct. So, but let me ask you then, who is the most recent person to have said, "Oh, good morning. Oh, good morning, Olive." When, were these 20, 50, 80 years ago, or did someone like within the past 5 years? Oh, yeah.
Almost all the stories that I have in this book are recent stories. These are not all long ago and far away stories. I'm just setting up her story. She has appeared continuously throughout the decades. During the time that the theater was closed, there was nobody in there, so nobody saw her. But when she came into my life is when Disney was fixing up the theater. And the people working on the show, I'm working on the theater, suddenly there were guys in the balcony. They'd be working on it was a construction site. And suddenly this woman in this filmy blue dress with a sash, carrying a blue bottle, would appear to them and say, "How you doing, fella?" And the workers complained to the foreman, and the foreman said, and they said, "Who is this woman wandering around the construction site? She should at least have a hat on,
or a yarmulke,
a construction helmet on." And one of the guys who saw her called up Louis Botto, because they said, "Oh, there's this guy at Playbill who collects these stories." And I remember sitting there listening to Louis on the phone with this guy who was hysterical. She appears frequently at the theater. She used to appear only to men, although she recently appeared to a female conductor. So maybe she's getting, a little more woke now that she's been dead for 100 years. But she used to appear only to men, and she would always look the same. She would always say the same things. A lot of the ghosts, they're really like vaudeville performers. They always have the same costume on, and they always have the same shtick. They always kind of do the same thing for everybody. So it's like a vaudeville act. And anyway, Dana Amendola, who is the manager of the New Amsterdam, he has seen her several times. And it's to the point where he has posted her picture at every entrance to the New Amsterdam. I have a picture of the stage door. There's a picture of Olive. If you come in the main entrance, you go past all these famous people, Fanny Brice and Eddie Cantor, and all these people who appeared at the theater over the years. And the last picture on the right is Olive. Why? Because the people who work there, when they arrive for work in the morning, if they don't say, "Good morning, Olive," stuff happens to them. They get tripped. They've come to their dressing room and everything has been thrown on the floor. I mean, there are so many stories about Olive recently. The most recent story I have was last summer. They had a new watchman, a new night watchman, who said he was crossing the stage, and this woman dressed in the blue outfit with the sash and the bottle came toward him, and she looked at him. She didn't say anything. She turned and walked through the brick wall at the back of the theater, and he called up Dana in the middle of the night and quit.
Oh my God!
And I'm not spending any more time at this theater.
Yeah, but
so Olive is not only the sexiest Broadway ghost. She's not only one of the most active Broadway ghosts, although there are others. She's also she appears all the time. She appears a lot. Sometimes she appears as a pair of feet, just a pair of feet walking up and down the stairs. Her main haunt. Remember, I told you that there used to be a theater on the roof, the New Am roof. It's now offices for Disney. Schumacher, who's the head of that, sits on what used to be the stage. But when Olive was appearing in the frolics, one of her things was she had to climb up a little set of stairs from the trap. Now, you know what a trap door is. It's a door that goes down to the section under the stage known as the trap. She would come up from the trap and she'd make her appearance on the stage. Supposedly that trap is the most haunted place in the theater, and the public doesn't see that very much. The people who work there, though, see it all the time. In fact, I was taken down there on a tour by one of the carpenters who has seen her frequently. So you say, when does she appear? She appears all the time, but mainly the people who work there.
In your whole, not even just theater, I mean, have you ever seen an unexplained, inexplicable ghost or spirit, or something happened that you just, it happened, I saw it, I witnessed it, where you just have no idea?
Was that a ghost?
I ain't afraid of
I have to tell you, I would love to see a ghost. I would love to see ghosts, and I've tried to see ghosts. I asked Disney if I could stay over at the theater, and they said you can't stay over for insurance purposes, but you can stay till midnight. So I stayed till midnight, and Olive did not appear to me. But one time, when I befriended this carpenter who works at the theater, and he took me into the trap, which is now used as a storage space. There's a lot of old pieces of furniture and lumber and pieces of metal, and it's kind of a spooky space already. And I went in there and I said, "Hello, Olive Thomas." Nothing. Olive? Nothing. So I was really disappointed. But then I remembered that women from that period, they were very, very proud of their married names.
Mrs. So-and-so, yeah.
Okay.
So, so I said, "Mrs. Pickford, are you there?" And there was this huge piece of, it was a door frame. It was a prop. I mean, it was a prop door, but it had like a metal flange on it so that you could attach it to something else. It must have been 800 pounds. It lifted up and it went boom. Now, the carpenter and I started laughing because, we didn't think it was a ghost. We thought it was just a coincidence.
Right.
I mean,
yes, but
we didn't immediately say, "Oh, a ghost." No, we said, "Oh, isn't that funny?" Just as I said that, this thing goes boom. I said, "That was great. That was great." I said, "Let me try it again."
Oh.
I said, "Mrs. Pickford, are you there?" And it went boom again. I would love to have a much more dramatic story with being drenched with ectoplasm, but unfortunately, that is the closest that I have ever come to an actual personal experience. But it is Olive, and I did name my book after Olive, so she owes me.
Good. By the way, the book is called Good Morning Olive. You can get it.
Good morning, Olive. Good morning, Olive. You have to say good morning to Olive. But she's one story in here. I have more than 200 ghost stories in this book. Broadway, off Broadway, around the world, across the United States. I have ghost stories from South America and Asia and haunted theaters. There's haunted theaters everywhere. But Rabbi, I got to tell you something. I actually have, unlike a lot of these people, I actually had a scientific approach to this. You may remember, and you briefly mentioned it, that I used to be editor of a series called the Playbill Broadway Yearbook.
Oh, sure, of course, yes.
I did this for 10 years. Every show has a chapter, and every show has the complete contents of the playbill. But to add to that, to make a little extra, I would have a thing called in the back of it, I'd have a thing called the scrapbook, where I would have somebody from the show answer a bunch of questions about life on the show. Things like memorable notes from the fans. Where did you go for your opening night party? What were your special backstage rituals? What were memorable ad libs that people did on stage? What were embarrassing moments? Favorite snack foods of the cast? What'd you do at the holidays? So it's very, very rich variety of life backstage. And every show I asked, did you see a ghost?
Wow.
And so I did this for 10 years, every show at every theater for 10 years. So I almost have a spreadsheet of ghostly appearances on Broadway. And one very interesting thing popped up, and you alluded to it earlier, Rabbi, or Dave did.
Rather lewd, yes.
You alluded to it lewdly. And you mentioned the fact that some of the theaters
don't have.
Never had a ghost. I would ask, did you see any ghosts? They're like, no, I'm sorry, we didn't see anything on this show. But the theaters that never had that didn't have a ghost, never had a ghost. I never got a ghost story out of those theaters. But the theaters that did have a ghost story always had a ghost story. It was almost as if some theaters actually had ghosts and other theaters actually didn't have ghosts. And the ghostly appearances were pretty consistent from person to person to person because shows come and go. I would have a correspondent on every show, and they would say, yeah, we had that laughing ghost on our show. One of the theaters has a ghost that laughs during the performance.
And it didn't matter what the show was. 2 years later, the laughing ghost would be back, even though it was a comedy playing there, and now they're doing Death of a Salesman. And it's
yes.
Oh, it's gonna die. Yeah.
Laura Benanti was appearing at the St. James in Gypsy. She was playing Gypsy, and I told her this story. I said, have you seen the ghost? She said, what ghost? We don't have a ghost. I said, you supposedly have a laughing ghost who laughs inappropriately during performances. And the people and I got this from one of the ushers that worked there. And the usher said, when the people in the orchestra would complain to me and said, could you get that idiot in the balcony to stop laughing? And the people in the balcony would say, can you get that idiot downstairs to stop laughing during the show? And Laura's eyes got big. And she said, one night I was singing Little Lamb. Just when, you know the song.
Lamb, the lamb, I wonder who I am, or how old I am.
I wonder how old I am. And when she gets to that heartbreaking final line, I wonder how old, because it's her birthday and she's singing to her stuffed animals. And you realize her mother has never told her her real age. And she says, I wonder how old I am. And in the middle of singing that line, suddenly this insane laughter burst out of the house. Ooh. And she said, I think I experienced a ghost. And I said, yeah, well, I'm trying to find out. Do you think it's, who do you think it was? Do you think it was an actor? And she said, I know it wasn't an actor. I know it wasn't a professional, because a professional would not interrupt a performance.
Yeah, and besides, if I were a ghost, I would haunt any show Laura Benanti's in. When she was appearing half naked in the show, I'd be like, I'm gonna go through the wall on this one. Yeah, but why wouldn't a ghost? If a ghost can walk through a wall, or and go do it, why wouldn't they go across the street? Like, I've been at the Booth Theater so many times. Let me go into the Neil Simon Theater.
Well, as I said, some ghosts are locked into seem to be locked into where they are. Some ghosts seem to move around. I have many stories. Many theaters claim that they have. I'm having a senior moment here. Super famous magician.
Copperfield?
No. You old is who?
Ricky Jay?
No. Old 20s, all the way back.
Oh,
Mandrake?
Who's the guy buried in the cemetery near my parents?
Houdini, thank you. A lot of theaters claim that they have the ghost of Houdini, that they've seen him, that they know that he's Houdini. And my feeling is, it's Houdini. He can get out of anything. He can go anywhere he wants. Houdini's ghost
communicates. So, tell us.
Houdini's ghost moves around a lot. He appears in California. He appears in the Midwest where he died. He appears in Canada. We have a report of his ghost appearing in Canada.
Joyce has Dave's wife, Joyce, just asked a very important question. Are the ghosts equity? Like, do they get...
Some of the ghosts, I'm sure, are equity. I wonder if they're still collecting.
You have to have AFTRA. Or GAFTRA. It's a ghost federal. But let me also...
In the afterlife, they are.
Of all the stories of the ghost stories in your book, Good Morning Olive, which people can get from Amazon or just go directly to Applause Theater and Cinema Books, or get it online, get it from A Books, wherever you want to get your books. Get Robert Viagas' book. Just don't wait for Christmas. Get it now for the Halloween holiday. Give it to the theater lover. Give it to the ghost story lover. And anybody who likes mystery stories and Agatha Christie will like this too. So, but
Or if your name is Olive, or if you like olives.
Yeah.
I don't know where I heard that, but I think those are good ideas also.
Or if I turn to my wife and I say, Olive you. That's
There we go.
a little
Perfect.
jump.
Perfect.
It doesn't have
Good
to
morning, Olive you. This a nice way to say I love you?
It could just be for people who like theater. It doesn't have to be anything
Absolutely.
about scary.
Well, yes, but in fact, not even scary. If you had to pick like one of the funniest stories in the book, one of the funniest ghost appearance things, what would it be? Could you pick one like
Ghost, funny.
Yes, zaniest, most ridiculous.
Non-scary.
Patti LuPone says that there is a ghost at one of the Broadway theaters she has appeared in repeatedly, and this ghost manifests itself in a weird way. It steps on your toes.
Oh.
Whenever she's in her dressing room, she goes to get dressed. She opens up her closet, and she can feel a little foot stepping on her toe.
Is it a puppy?
Good. I hope it's not Robert.
Okay, we're talking about adorable stories now. We're going to modulate here to adorable stories. Most adorable ghost story is the ghost of Mosby, who haunts the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
When they were working on the theater, the workers of the theater had this little friend that used to come and visit them, a cat. And they named the cat Mosby. And the cat became such a friend of theirs, they actually built a little place for the cat to sit at the edge of the balcony and look out over the theater while they were working. And it's still there, by the way. Mosby, he only has 9 lives. And so after the 9th life was gone, people at the theater say that they can sometimes hear a cat meowing. They can sometimes feel a cat rubbing against their legs. And the theater, some of the theaters don't want you to talk about their ghosts. They're very protective, and they don't want nuts to come in and start hunting around the theater for ghosts. But the Kennedy Center has embraced Mosby the cat, and you can actually buy little Mosby dolls at the merchandise.
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense because Kennedy himself was a pussy magnet. So this kind of the cat.
Perfect.
Very much.
Perfect.
Thank you. Oh, don't hit me. Don't touch the rabbi. So well, we have a couple of. You're gonna stay. I have to go in a few minutes, but you're gonna stay on to play the trivia game.
I'll stay.
But
yeah.
And Leslie says she's still in the waiting room, Rabbi.
Excellent. Yes. We're gonna bring Leslie Hoban Blake to play the game along with Vicki Quade from Chicago.
Tell Robert, these are some pretty hefty.
You got some competition.
These are some pretty serious competitors.
But while we have time, when the pandemic hit, I did want to get to this because last time you were on the program was just pre-pandemic. How much did you miss going to the theater for like a year? What did you feel like something drop out of your life, or was it surprisingly like, I could have used a break?
It was torture. I signed up for the Broadway HD so that I could watch shows. And anytime there was a movie of a Broadway show, I would try to watch it. My wife and I actually wound up watching a lot of the old MGM musicals, especially like Brigadoon, things that were adaptations. But they were also on Zoom. There was a lot of theater that was being done virtually. And so I had a chance to watch a bunch of those as well. So, I tried to.
What was your favorite? Of all the Zoom directed and Zoom produced shows that you saw, what was your?
Oh man, there was this incredible one about racism. I'm blanking on the name.
Was it English? Was it from?
No, it was American. It was like done by an off-Broadway. I think it was Urban Stages hosted it. It was really incredibly well done. I don't want to yell for my poor wife to come and tell me the title because she probably remembers the title.
Why are you supposed to yell at you? That's how it works.
Oh, don't worry. She yells at me plenty.
Oh, good.
Got a little of my own back. So yeah, so that was how I, and also the 2 little bookcases you see behind me are a tiny percentage of all the theater books that I have. I literally have thousands of theater books. And I've written 21 myself and soon to be 22. By the way, the 22nd,
Yeah.
the 22nd one, by the way, which can be ordered now on Amazon. It's actually not coming out till next June, but it can pre-order. It is you have histories of famous stars, and you have famous theaters, books, directors, but nobody has ever written a book about the most important collaborator of all in the theatrical experience, and indeed in television, in movies, et cetera, et cetera. And that is the audience. I have written a history of the audience. Here it is. It's called Right This Way, A History of the Audience. And it is about all the things that have happened over the years. I went to the National Archives, and I got two incredible accounts of audience members who were there the night Lincoln was assassinated, and what it was like. Don't forget, he was assassinated just a couple of days after the end of the Civil War. And this was his, he was so stressed out. He was an inveterate theater goer, and he went to the theater that night and to relax. And people were talking about how tired he looked, and how much he perked up when the show started, and how much he laughed at all the crazy old jokes, and what it was like when he was assassinated. I have one of the audience members claims to have jumped onto the stage to chase after Booth. And Booth was a veteran actor and knew his way out of the theater very easily. And this guy had trouble following him. But he says, "But I got the scoundrel's hat."
Wow! And then Booth, he broke his leg on the way down. And
yes, he did.
Scramble away and get the.
Oh, he was.
And it's funny. Lincoln that night went to the theater to get something off his mind, and he did his scalp. But that's just terrible.
Dark.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Dark.
But
on a happier note, the book also has a history of booing. I mean, it has a whole history of audiences from the Greeks right up until Zoom. So that's coming out.
Now, again, you're retired. You're not working for Playbill anymore, or not staying. Are you still working for that? Is it Encore's magazine?
Where the magazine is kind of on hold for a while, but I'm continuing to do. They also do regional programs around the country, so I do programs for them. I'm the editor of all these programs.
Sweet. But when do you write? Do you have are you one of those writers who blocks out 2 hours in the morning, an hour after lunch, or how do you, because you're very productive at this point. So when are you writing? What is your regime, if you will? I
have a burst of energy late morning. I have another burst of energy just before dinner, and sometimes I will get up in the middle of the night because I can't sleep because the book is writing itself in my head, and I don't want to lose it. I do keep a pad next to the bed, but sometimes it gets to be more than I can write in the pitch dark. So I tiptoe out. I come downstairs into my office here, and I work on the book sometimes in the middle of the night. But towards the deadline, basically I'm writing around the clock.
Oh my God. So how long, from start to finish, when you had the idea, I think I'm going to write a book about audiences.
Mm-hmm.
From start to finish, how long did it take you from germination to insemination, if you will?
Okay, well, I had the idea for the audience book a long time ago, but my agent sold it about a year before the deadline. So I had about a year to work on it.
And you were able to do that within the year. It's wonderful. So before I have to go, but before we bring in Dave, and then, you wanted to add one thing?
Yes, I do. I was listening to something you were saying earlier. By the way, I want to let you know, I also went to NYU and Hunter. I have my master's degree in theater from Hunter. And also you were wondering about whether birds stutter. And I think I can do a bird stuttering for you. Ready? I believe that is a bird stuttering.
Wow. Oh no.
The talents of this man that wasting all those years on Playbill, you're shipping on Broadway doing bird stutter calls.
No, he could do a ghost. Can you do a ghost bird stutter?
Can you do a ghost bird stutter? It's got to have echo or something. It's got to.
That's as far as I can. That's the best I can do.
You realize that is going to be a Twitter meme now. People are going to just capture that video and go, Robert Viagas doing stuttering bird. Thank you.
All the things that I've done that would be appropriate.
I know it's my favorite
thing that makes me famous.
One quick question.
There was a clip when I linked to Robert's book in Facebook. But there was the clip from him in 2019 presenting something. Was he?
Did you have another book 4 years ago that you
No,
were
about ghost stories, or was he?
Oh,
just, was he
you've been
working
lecturing
it up?
about
Yeah.
this all the
Yeah,
time.
I've been doing the lectures on the ghost stories for like 5 or 6 years.
Oh, okay.
And I would I do it I'm doing 18 library appearances in the month of October.
When are the next coming up? Tell us. When can we see?
I could, the next one that's coming up is going to be in Port Jefferson on Long Island this Monday.
Oh my
And
God!
I'm going to be
Go
in
see him.
Mamaroneck. What? I have 18. I don't want to bore your audience with all 18. It's on my Facebook page, and I can send it to you if you want to post it. I have a grid that my lovely bride made up.
And do you have a website like Robert Viagas does? Do you have a website or just a Facebook?
Mainly I use the Facebook.
Robert Viagas.
Right.
That's it. His link. People can click on your name in chat, Robert, and get to your web.
And they can go on Monday to Port Jefferson Library.
And then I'm in Mamaroneck on I'm looking at my calendar. Mamaroneck on the 8th. And I'm in Seaford, Long Island on the 11th.
Oh wow.
Half Hollow Hills on the 12th. Bohemia on the 13th, etc. A lot of library appearances. I tell the ghost stories.
Buy the book, everybody. You can buy it, and you'll sign if they buy the book. Well, this is libraries, bookstores, but you'll be selling.
Some libraries let me sell.
Oh, this is very nice. This is good. So,
my lovely bride just brought me the grid that she made with all my appearances on it. So
what a helpful, wonderful.
Take a picture and post that on Facebook.
Of what? Of the
grid.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Well,
thank you, Donna.
We've got to bring in. Is her name Lana? Shalom,
Donna.
Donna.
I'm sorry. I'm hard of hearing.
It means lady.
Does it Donna?
Give her her
Fernanda.
Hebrew name, Rabbi. Maybe what's her Hebrew name?
What should be her Hebrew name? What be like a beautiful, not ghostly, because this would be
Hadassah? No, not. What about
Donna Chuchla. Donna Chuchla would be
Donna Chuchla.
Yeah, there you go. We have to bring in our guests are patiently waiting to play the game. So I've got to go away.
I'm sure they were happy to wait while I was doing stuttering bird calls.
Or just have him give the dates of his appearances again. Rabbi.
While I'm going away, instead of playing music, go over again slowly where people can see you, and then the next person we see will be me, and then Leslie Hoban Blake and Vicki Quade, and we continue with the Dave's Gone By program. But Robert Viagas, we're going, oh my God, you've got to come back again with more and more stories and more about the. Just keep doing that. Keep doing that. I'll be back. Dave will be back.
All right, I'm appearing. I'm appearing in. Most of these are on Long Island. One is in Queens. One is in Westchester. Port Jefferson on the 3rd, October. Mamaroneck on the 6th. Seaford on the 11th. Half Hollow Hills on the 12th. Connecticut, which is in Bohemia, on the 13th. Oh, hey, Dave. Montauk. I'm way out in Montauk on the 16th. I'm in Middle Island at Longwood Library on the 17th. Plainview Old Bethpage on the 18th. Harbor Fields and Green Lawn on the 19th. I'm at the main branch of the Queens Library in Jamaica on the 21st. I'm in Floral Park on the 24th. Bayville on the 25th. South Huntington on the 26th. Mineola on the 27th. Jericho on Halloween itself, the 31st. Glen Cove on the 1st, which is only virtual. And Middle Country and Center Reach on the 10th. And that is the dullest thing that you have had on your
Well, maybe at some point when you write better books, you'll be in whole Hollow Hills instead of half hollow. So there. But ladies and gentlemen, we have wonderful Robert. Yeah, Robert.
Apologies to Vicki and Leslie for making you wait through that.
Well, we had to do a change.
4 minutes.
From the other room. Rabbi Sal was here. We had to do a switch. So this is Vicki Quade. Vicki is the co-creator of Late Night Catechism. And is also doing Are you doing Holy Ghost Bingo yet?
That's the connection.
Yes. Yeah, it opens tonight. I'm on stage tonight.
So congratulations.
You are
break a leg.
Sorry.
It's the Ghost Connection.
But here's the deal, Vicki. Have you ever at the Greenhouse Theater experienced any kind of haunting, ghostly, any kind of weird, unexplained noises?
Okay. For 20 years, I was at the Royal George Theater.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I did see a spirit walking down the hallway, a three-dimensional shadow. And I wrote, and I used it in the show. And actually, in the local playbill, I think it was, they did a story about it.
Wow.
I'll find that link and send it to you.
Theater people work all their lives to get into the theater. And once they're in, they never want to leave.
Well, speaking, this is people like we have on this program. We also have Leslie Hoban Blake. Leslie is a director. She's also a theater critic.
Leslie's been in many theaters.
Leslie, you've done a lot of off-Broadway
Yeah.
work, and you've done a lot of regional theater too. Any ghost stories? Oh, Leslie, you have to unmute.
You can ask her to unmute. You want me
Her
to-
microphone is off, it says.
Yeah.
Now it's on.
I know, there it is, now it's on.
Oh, Leslie, did you color your hair? You look great.
It's
Great,
the same- No,
Leslie.
it's just, I styled it.
Did you wash it?
Look, you're very
I
blonde.
washed it and I styled it. Yes, I'm all glam. I'm going to lunch as soon as we finish this, so I figured I would
Not
say
for
hi.
us.
No, it's easier to do earlier than later. Good morning, Robert. Hi, how are you?
Good morning, Leslie. What a pleasure to see you again.
Pleasure to see you too. My light is out, so
Oh.
if it isn't one thing, it's another.
Stories. Ask
It looks
her.
great.
Here, let me move my lamp so that you can get a little bit
I
more.
see the lamp, but it's not the same. If I do this, then I
Oh,
get a
that works.
shadow, then
Well,
I get that, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, ghost stories, good question.
Oh, that happened to you, that you witnessed, that you
Or she could
remember.
have heard from her actors
Oh, maybe.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Did
To
her
tell you what,
actors-
it's more like what Robert said about if you ever get on stage, you never want to leave. When I was a kid, there was a play, it's a famous play, it might have been Sabrina, I don't know. It was some famous play by the guy who wrote Sabrina. And I went with a school group, and they let us go home because it was after 3 o'clock. So they didn't take us back to school. And I snuck away from the group and I snuck up on stage. And the only thing on the stage besides the set was the ghost light.
Uh-oh.
And it was, of course, it was between shows. It was a matinee and then an evening. And I stole the script. Someone had left a script there. I used to have it somewhere. It probably got flooded out in some place between where I used to be and not where I am now. But I will never forget Samuel something. You could look it up. Is the guy's name? And the actor was one of the minor actors, but someone who was rather famous, as a leading minor actor, as a second lead. So that's my ghost lamp story. I stood on the stage of a big theater of a Broadway theater, which I never got to work in my whole life, for the first time. And I looked out and I thought, I want to be here. I literally got that. I want to do this. I want to see people there watching me. Holding on to the ghost lamp. I held on to it. I think I cried. I'm not sure. I don't remember. And then I stole the script.
Actually, quick question for you, Robert. And I'm sure you guys all know this, but I don't remember. Is it called a ghost lamp to keep the ghosts away or to welcome them? Why do they call it the ghost lamp?
They have many theories about it, and there are really three primary theories. One of them is the very practical theory that in case somebody's wandering around the theater after everybody goes home, that they don't fall off the stage. Of course, after everybody goes home, everybody's home. So I discount that a little bit. And then there's the nice theory, and then there's the not so nice theory. The not so nice theory is that if they believe that Brian Stokes Mitchell once told me that the theater is like a wine cask, that every performance soaks into the theater itself and enriches future performances. That theaters are in a sense made of ghosts. But if you don't have the light, if it's a dark, they will take over the theater.
Whoa.
Oh.
That's the not nice theory. The nice theory is that, going along with what we were saying about people never wanting to leave, that it is a courtesy to the performers of old whose ghosts are in the theater, so that they can walk onto the stage and that they can give a performance at night after everybody's gone.
Oh.
But it is, I will tell you this, the ghost light is in the equity contract. You must have a ghost light. It is required.
Whoa.
Yay. And it probably costs everybody like $20 extra a
The
month.
ghost light gets union. The ghost light has to get union scale.
Yeah.
Well, it's they thanks to the green effort that they've done on Broadway now, they now use CFC bulbs on the ghost lights.
Good.
So it's a bulb allotment budget
Do you-
that they have.
Do
Yeah.
you know the Anna Gasteyer ghost story when she performed in Wicked here in Chicago?
Say
Oh,
it.
I think I have this story in the book. Please recount the story.
Yeah.
And help me if I get some of it wrong. She is appearing in Wicked. She is, it's the end of Act 1, I believe. She's in the air. She looks down and she sees children and people in period clothes, and she's thinking, have they changed? And they haven't told me something. So she comes down at intermission and she says to the stage managers, what's going on with those people? And they say, oh, no, did you see something? Yeah, those are the spirits of the people who were burned in the Iroquois theater fire.
Oh my God.
I have this story on page 107 and 108 in my book, the Anna Gasteyer story.
So she goes downstairs to the green room, to her dressing room. And as she's going down the stairs, she sees a woman with two children huddled by a wall. And she makes eye contact with the mother, and then they disappear. It's a great story. And
Iroquois, I have a whole thing on the Iroquois.
I got shivers when you told that
Fire,
story.
Yes.
I'm scared.
The Iroquois fire was a horrible, horrible incident. It was sort of like the Titanic. They actually advertised that the theater had one of these new asbestos curtains. Never mind what asbestos can do to you. But the theater,
and the doors that opened out, that was changed after the fire.
And they now have riot bars on the door too. So, but the show that they were doing that night, Eddie Foy was appearing at the theater, and he was so popular, people were sneaking in through the doors, so they chained all the doors shut, so the people couldn't sneak in. As a matter of fact, if Bob Hope did a movie of the life of Eddie Foy, and they have a recreation in that of the night of the fire in the theater, because Eddie Foy, very heroically, even though he was standing on the stage and fire was falling down on him, directed people to come up on the stage and go out through the stage door. So the few people who were saved from the Iroquois fire were saved very heroically by this vaudeville actor who risked his life to save theirs. But many people died in that fire. It was horrible.
I guess he guided them through the foyer.
I'll tell you one quick story. So a friend of mine, an actor friend, is in the alley next to what then became the Oriental, now is the Nederlander Theater.
Nederlander, that's correct.
And I know I live in Chicago.
Oh, Vicki wrote a book about
Wow!
it.
Wow.
I was Vicki. I was New York splaining. Sorry.
Vicki wrote a book about
okay.
Chicago
She
theater,
did.
right?
That's right.
Sorry, Robert.
About Chicago theater.
Anyway, so very quickly. So my friend is in a commercial and they're filming it in the alley.
Oh no. Oh God.
No. This is true. And he's standing in the alley getting ready, and the director is, and all of a sudden he gets pushed, and he thinks, "What the?" And he looks behind him, and there's nothing behind him. And he moves over, and he gets pushed again, and he keeps moving, and he finally feels that something is right behind him, and he just gets freaked out, and he turns around. There's nobody behind. He's last in line. So he finishes the commercial, and he walks to the sidewalk, and he tells the director, something weird's going in there. And the director says, "Oh yeah, it's the Iroquois fire. It's the dead. The ghosts are in the alley."
I have a lithograph of the what it was like the night of the fire at the Iroquois. Horrible.
Yeah, they don't look happy.
Oh,
No.
Did people put that in their house, Robert, or was that just for the newspaper?
I'm sorry?
Did people actually have copies of that litho, or was that just for the newspaper?
Oh, I got that from an archive. I got that from an archive.
No, my question was, did people buy copies of that for their homes, or was that just for the
It was
newspaper?
printed in a newspaper. It was printed in a newspaper.
Leslie, would you put up a giant painting of people?
No, that's what I wondered. That's what I was wondering.
Well,
But
that would
people
go well
put
in
up-
the living
No,
room.
wait a minute. People put up Bruegel, which is hideous and horrible, and
Well, yeah,
pretend-
Bosch is hideous, but it isn't based on a real
yes.
event. I got
and Frank
pictures of
just naked,
9/11.
So I just wondered. That's all.
But how many people died? Do we everyone?
Yeah,
died?
how many survived and how many?
Over
died?
1,000 people died, mainly of smoke inhalation.
What?
Mainly, they wanted the people in the orchestra to be able to get out first, but they couldn't for the reason that we were talking about. The doors were locked,
Oh my God.
and people from the balcony were trying. They had two very small staircases coming down from the balcony,
Oh my
and
God.
most of the people who died were in the balcony because they couldn't get down the stairs because they were prevented from getting down the stairs
Oh my God.
by the crowds downstairs. It was just horrible, just horrible. There are some very disturbing photos of the aftermath that I did not recreate in the book, but can be
Oh.
found.
Yeah. No, I've been thinking for my office of getting a
602
lithograph
people.
of the Auschwitz crematoria. I just thought it would be just a lovely thing to hang behind me.
602 people died.
Well,
Oh,
not quite 1,000. So
Not quite 1,000.
That's horrible.
So it was
yes,
horrible.
it is horrible. It's like the triangle shirtwaist.
yes.
That's right. Very similar and
Is
very
Vicki
similar.
covered at all or
Yeah.
no?
Is that in your book, Vicki, about the Chicago theaters? Do you mention the Iroquois? It's been a while since I've read it. I'm sorry.
I don't think so. I tell both those stories about my friend, the actor friend, and I tell
Oh, ghosting.
Yeah, I
the
know.
ghost story. I tell those in my show.
On your show, okay. The whole
Yeah.
ghost bingo.
Because
Which
I want
is-
people to talk about ghost stories. So I say, does anyone here have a ghost story? And then a lot of people are reticent, like maybe they're on a date. They don't want their dates to think they're weird. And then I will tell the Anna Gasteyer story. And then people will be like, oh, I had a story, and so it
Are you
just,
collecting? Do you ever write them down? Because Robert, at
I
some point you'll be
totally
asked to
remember them,
revise
yes.
the book, and
I collect them, and it's true. A lot of times people want to tell me the story, but sometimes people are a little shy. They think people are going to think they're insane. So
Yeah.
so I throw out a few of my ghost stories like Chum, and it attracts them and it gets them to finally tell me the story. And I've gotten a lot of really good stories. So it sounds like you've had exactly the same experience.
Okay, I have a really great one. It's real short. So the woman tells the story. She says that her husband they were newlyweds. They were really poor. They had a baby. It was cold. They had a little tiny apartment, little house, I think it was actually, apartment inside a house. And she turned the stove on and put the baby in the kitchen just to heat up. She's in her bedroom, and all of a sudden a dark presence just walks past her, and she's like scared, right? She thinks that something, someone's entered, and she turns on the light, and she sees a spirit, and the spirit walks into her closet. And I said, what did you do? And she said, I ran out and I ran over to the neighbors. And I said, there's something in my house. There's something next door. And then I said, the baby. Oh my God, you ran out and left your baby.
that's mother.
I'm
of the
shocked.
year
I'm
right
shocked.
there. That's
I'm shocked as well.
wow.
But if
Anyway,
you're just talking about generalized ghost stories, when I was 29, and it was a pivotal year. It had to be
weren't you
29.
29 for about 7 years? Less? No.
Oh, about as long as I was
29 now.
vice president of
He
the
looks
drama.
29 now.
It went on forever. But anyway, the point of the story is that 29 evidently is a pivotal year. According to the doctor that I went to, who may have been a crank, I had panic attacks. I didn't know they were panic attacks. I didn't know what they were. Occasionally, during that particular year, if I fell asleep, whether I was sitting up or lying down, I would suddenly be unable to breathe, and I would see a specter, a black shape, no face, no anything, pressing down, not allowing me to sleep, to breathe. So of course I went to the doctor thinking I had some sort of pulmonary problem. He said, nope, your lungs are clear, everything else is clear. But you know what? He said, it's your age. He said, women, when they get, now this is, I mean, had I been me now and not me then, I would have punched his lights out. But he did this whole thing about women at 29 have a fear of becoming 30. And that was true. I didn't want to be 30. I remember that. But I didn't, where this particular premonition, my parents are all alive. My grandparents may have been alive at that point. I don't remember. I know my grandmother was alive. So I just don't know. But he was basically telling me it was hormonal, but it wasn't a single event. It went on, and they wanted to give me some kind of psychotropics. I didn't want to take anything because I had a bigger fear of that than I did of the black specter. But and then it was over, and I think it was over still within the year, not when I turned 30 or something like that. But it was a very bizarre thing, and I talked to a couple of other women who looked at me and said, "What? I never heard of that."
Yeah.
Did you ever hear of that?
No, but I will say about 10 or 15 years ago, I was in my office and all of a sudden I went, oh, like this. And my office manager was there. He said, what? And I said, there's a bat. Did you not see that? And he said, no, I didn't see a bat. And I was back and I said, God, there's a bat in the kitchen. And I went into the kitchen, I looked around and there was nothing. He looked at me like, well, I went to the eye doctor and I had a floater.
Oh,
Okay, but there was
well,
a
I'll tell you
reason.
this, there was a woman, we can discount these things, but there was a woman in California who was haunted by a specter, and he shot her. He was a music producer, but it was
Oh.
Bad joke.
yeah.
You know, it doesn't take him very long though. His mind, he's able to do that. I find it's a skill. It's a crazy skill. It's an unmarketable skill. It's a skill. I don't know what the skill is. It's just I
The
marvel
ability to
that you
shock
can
and
do it.
offend simultaneously is my great skill. I also have a decent skill as kind of a host of a game that we play here on Dave's Gone By.
Kind of a host, yes.
Kind of a host.
You said it, I didn't.
A putative host, if you will, of a trivia comedy-ish game. You're not supposed to get any of these right really anymore. It used to be like a real trivia game. Now, if you're lucky to get a point or two, but it's all in fun.
It's just like Hollywood Squares.
Yes.
No,
I'm not going to be Paul
it's
Lind, I'll
worse.
tell you right now.
or better, depending on which way you go.
I'm not so much Paul Lind as Austria. Yeah, that's a Poland joke.
Oh.
Well, it wasn't. It was just cute. It was bad cute, but it was cute.
It was not even
So,
a bad
Robert,
pun, yeah.
Dare I ask, have you ever actually watched one of our recent episodes to see how the game works?
No.
No. Okay, but here's
Expect the man to say yes. Did you really expect him to say yes? Come on.
some
I
people
watched the
homework.
beginning. I
Yeah.
watched the beginning of this episode. How about that?
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun. It's just a trivia game, and usually,
Ask
actually,
Leslie, who won last time?
did Leslie, you won last time, didn't you?
I did.
She-
But
No.
you know, it doesn't really matter because it's a stupid game he's telling you, so it has no meaning, right? So my win
You
is
have to be-
useless.
You
So
have
it really
I-
doesn't
I-
matter.
I'm not even a salmon swimming upstream. I'm just,
Well,
you know,
have to
killing
be
time
smart
until
to
I
win.
die.
You have to be smart to win.
The fun of it is hearing you guys puzzle out what might be or what might not be true and what is the correct
That's
answer.
actually true, yeah.
And so some of the questions have to do with things that happened in history on this date. So it's October 1st. A couple of the questions are like on October 1st in history. So a couple of this time are also recent events. And then we have our special questions too.
Theater history or general history?
No,
Oh, no, Robert.
Occasionally theater.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
that's
wait,
the
Robert.
thing.
Oh, just
And
wait.
he uses,
yeah.
listen, he uses the dates to jump off to something entirely
Yeah.
different that is
All
nothing.
right.
If
all
you
right.
ever listen to Wait, Don't Tell Me,
I
Yes.
do.
I don't know
Yes.
that.
well, that,
Oh, sure,
that's-
you watch that show. You don't watch
That's
mine.
what I
Thank
watched
you, Robert.
instead of Dave's show. I said, wait, or Dave. I went with wait.
Wait, there we go.
Oh.
I listen to it as a podcast, so because you know I'm here.
So here's the deal. All the questions are worth 2 points. We have 6 questions and then a tiebreaker that we do whether or not we actually have a tie. We just do that 7th question no matter what. So there used to be 10 questions. I just don't have the time in my life to be doing them right now. So we've shortened it a little bit. And we still have questions. So here's the deal. I'm going to ask Robert, our second-time person in the neighborhood, since you're the most recent, could you kindly pick a number between 1 and 6 and tell me what it is?
5.
My favorite number, Robert with a 5.
I knew
Vicky, your number would be?
Dose 2.
Vicky. And Leslie, wait. A spirit is coming to me. I'm seeing a 6. Am I? Yeah. I know. Okay, here we go. Robert with 5, Vicky with 2, Leslie with 6. I'm going to roll a die that you can't see because it's rather ghostly. And it's also basically digital. So this is a digital one-sided die. Ooh. Let me see how many times I have to roll it before I get an actual number. Robert Viagas, luck. I just rolled a 5. You get to decide. Would you like to go first, second, or third?
I'll go first.
Robert going first. Ooh-ha. Here we go. Let's roll the die again.
Totally fearless. I like that. You know, just like never done this before, but what the hell, you know?
What the hell?
Okay, that was a 3. This is a 1. This could go on for a while. This is great stuff. This is a 4.
You look very well, Robert. I must say, it all agrees with you. Marriage and writing a book both agree with you very well.
And my son just got married, so I'm hoping I will be a
Oh.
grandfather.
Mazel, mit mazel, mit
Mazel.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, Vicky, mit mazel to you too, because I just rolled a 2. So would you like to go second or third?
Second. I'll go second.
Vicky
Come on,
second.
roll the die for me now.
The show isn't that long. Okay, so Robert, You
Yes.
get our very first question. It's worth 2
Ooh.
points if you get it right. If you don't get it right, there's no penalty. But Vicki or Leslie will get a chance to steal the question and get those 2 points. That's how the game works. Are
I'm sure
you
they
ready?
will. I'm sure they will do very well. They'll do better than I. So go.
You never know. You never
Don't
you
say
might-
that.
No.
Yes.
You haven't seen me
Not
play.
cumulative. It's not like we know from the last game. It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work like that. All right. It's a multiple choice question. The year, remember, these are things that happened in October.
2022.
Not quite.
Oh, I thought that was
59. The year was 959 AD.
That was a good
Yes.
one.
Whoa.
Edgar I becomes King of England.
Yes.
Known as Edgar the Peaceful, His Highness had a relatively stable kingdom marked by political unity and peace on the Scandinavian front. Still, Edgar had some offbeat aspects to his life and reign. Which of these is false about Edgar the Peaceable?
Oh.
A. One of his children is named Ethelred the Unready. B. Edgar allegedly killed the guy so he could marry the widow. C. The Catholic Church made him a saint. Or D. He was beheaded on the same day 600 years earlier as Oliver Cromwell.
Oh.
Earlier,
Yeah, Edgar was beheaded. The year was 959.
right?
Beheaded 600 years earlier than Oliver
Oh,
Cromwell would.
Okay. I will go with the last one. The last one is false.
Any particular reason you say the last one's false?
I don't think I remember any English kings being some of the other ones sound right. I don't remember any English king being beheaded during that period.
Wow.
Final answer? Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Wait a moment. Yes. Robert Viagas, you are on the board. You get to keep your head while all about us are losing theirs.
Ooh.
2 points for Robert Viagas. That is absolutely true.
Coming out of the
Edgar died-
pen, my God.
Thank you.
Wow.
I'm a regular Jeopardy watcher, by the way.
Oh.
That's very helpful.
So that
By
helps.
the way,
Oh,
my mother used to talk about Ethelred the Unready all the friggin' time. She was a history buff, and I never knew what it meant until I got into college and took certain courses. But I always thought she was making it up. I always thought it sounded so funny, the name, that it was
Right,
just
yeah.
something that,
So
come
not
on,
only,
Ethelred the Unready, that kind of shit.
He was
not
one of
only
the
was she well read-
Anglo-Saxon kings.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, not only was she well read, she was well Ethelred. I'm waiting to make that joke. And it is true, apparently, or allegedly true, that the king sent an emissary because he heard this woman was gorgeous. And the emissary's like, oh, she's so gorgeous, I'm going to marry her. And the king got mad and then took the emissary on a hunt and killed him and then married the girl. After she was married
The
to.
Dick Cheney story. Huh.
I would have done that to get my wife, I'll tell you that.
Man, you are just you're buggering that girl up. I'm telling you. Good. For
Oh no, he did the same on my show. On our show, we got the whole story then. It was a lovely story.
Yeah,
I
really,
was saying congratulations on. Yes, there he goes. He's gonna.
Oh, my wife is going to hate this, but here are the two of us when we were 12.
Oh, you're so cute.
Which one is Robert?
She just screamed from the next room. No, please don't.
Oh no, it's
That's
cute. It's very cute. Tell her
adorable.
it's cute. So you look great.
It's absolutely.
You tell her she's
adorable.
watching.
It's literally like the Carol Channing story where she married her sweetheart.
Oh,
those years later, yeah.
adorable.
All right, let's keep
You're
going.
young enough to have a whole life ahead of you. You see, as opposed
right.
to Carol Channing.
All right, it's
And
Vicky's
later on,
turn.
Robert's gonna,
I've taken time away. It's Vicky's turn.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is. Well, the rest of the questions are
Oh,
pretty.
part of the
short.
game is to take time away, Robert.
It
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
matter.
Ask it.
The
Take
game
it.
is so
How much
stupid.
time? How much time do you have to fill, David? If we just play
Well,
the game.
another hour and a half. What was that, Joyce?
No, I wanted to know if they know why Coolio died. I'm looking to see.
Anybody still know why Coolio died, or no?
Oh.
All right, three clues in
I wanted to go live in an Amish paradise, I guess.
Oh,
That's right.
Vicky, guess what question
Yeah.
awaits you? And no, it's not awaiting you, Leslie. It's awaiting you, Vicky.
Yes, I heard.
It's 3 clues in the news.
Oh,
You know
We
how
all
this works.
love those questions. Not.
We have, so how this works, Robert, just in case you get to steal this question, if he doesn't get it. These are 3 words,
yes.
or 3 clues, I should say. 3 clues, unconnected to each other. They're separate, but each of them connects to another word that you're going to try and guess, and that word has something to do with something in the news. Got it? Got it.
Yep.
The clues are
Okay.
sorry. This is a question for Vicki. The only Vicki's answering this for a moment. The clues are international, edge, Ethel.
Ethel. International edge. Ethel. Oh. Boy, international. I know if you don't get it right away, it's like you're never going to get it. International House of Pancakes. International
Say them again. International, and then
House of Pancakes. International
Edge.
Edge.
Yeah,
Edge Theater. There's an Edge Theater here in Chicago. Edge.
I've heard it's haunted.
Something
Yeah.
is edgy. So edge. The pencil, paper edge. International paper.
this is a hard one.
Edge. The edge of the world. International world. The edge. Columbus. The edge of the falling off. Flat. Ethel. Ethel Merman. Ethel Kennedy. Ethel gasoline Ethel. You see, Robert,
This is how this question works. Yeah.
you see how it works. You got to figure out the word that it goes with. Ethel Merman. Merman. Ethel Merman. It's wrong.
Is that your final answer?
Sure. Go ahead.
Well, there's no business like show business except when you get a question like that wrong. That is not the correct answer.
Right.
So I get to roll the die and see who can steal this question. Leslie Hoban Blake, I just rolled.
I knew it. I knew it was going to be me. I haven't got the foggiest. Everything that she said is what I was thinking. I got ethyl alcohol. Space is the only thing I can think of now. But ethyl space doesn't make any sense. By the way, I don't think you ever gave Robert the way it works. Potato, sweet.
He gets it though. Robert's a smart.
I know he
man.
gets it, but I realized I'm just playing for time here. I don't have anything. Ghost, international ghost. No, that doesn't work. Edge. Morgan Edge. Morgan International. Ethel Morgan. No, that doesn't work either. No idea in the world. Robert, it's all yours.
I was going to say the original London production of Annie Get Your Gun, because it's got Ethel Merman, it's international, and she did have the edge over Frank Butler. So that would be my guess.
That's called a reach, I believe.
Yeah, I can give you a point for that.
But it's a good one. It just isn't right.
How about a clue? Let's see if we can at least.
So wait, Robert, are you is that your answer? Are you passing?
I don't know the answer. I don't know.
All right.
That's my Paul Lind moment.
My
Paul Lind moment.
I wrote this early in the week before the what's been going on in South Carolina and in but it also applies.
Hurricane, storm, flood, Ethel flood Ethel.
Ian?
You're actually close, Vicki.
Flood,
Give a hint.
I did, but
no, it's right. Flood. What else would be a wind? Ethel wind. Ethel.
Oh, I got it. I know it.
What is it?
Waters.
What is it?
It's Waters. Ethel Waters.
Ethel Waters.
Waters Edge.
Oh, so smart.
It doesn't count now. I know, but if you play around with it long enough in your head, okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
Ethel Waters, international waters, and Waters Edge. So that's how it.
That's a good one.
Thank you very much. I stumped the panel. And by the way, this was before all the storm stuff. Anybody know why Waters was in the news?
Before the storm?
Yeah, even before that. It wasn't a huge story.
Something. Oh, so what was it?
It was Pink Floyd's Roger Waters.
Oh, that idiot, that moron. Yes.
What happened?
Tell it, Les.
Say it, Leslie. What happened?
No, you tell it because it makes me very angry, and I'll just.
Well, Roger Waters, who has come out vociferously against Israel for a million years, so fuck him. He's also gone pro-Putin and pro-Russia and against the Ukraine just making all these statements and tweeting, and then so he had to pull out of concerts he was going to do in Poland in a couple of weeks, just because it got a little too hot to handle. So Roger Waters made the news briefly earlier in the week, but yeah, he's
Yeah, it raised my blood pressure about 20 points when I read that. It was just
yeah.
amazing.
For 'em.
So
Yes.
anyway,
Precisely.
Robert Viagas has 2 points. Nobody else is on the board yet, but we have a lot more questions to go as we get to close to the end of the first round of the Today Yesterday quiz here on Dave's Gone By. Leslie, though,
Mine.
you can tie Robert.
Okay, all mine. Come. Let's go.
Remember, Leslie won the last one, so.
This is my
Oh, yeah,
favorite
right.
question of
Keep throwing that in as I lose, right? Keep doing that. I love it.
Leslie, you're gonna win. I can feel it.
Don't do that.
We're still on single Jeopardy, so don't worry. We're
Yes,
moving.
That's right.
We're
Yeah.
gonna move on to double Jeopardy.
So I'm teaching now, and it's just like every kind of reference I bring in. So we were going over the quiz that my students did miserably on, and one of the questions like it was fill in the blank. Is this and this is a blank, and this I was like match game 73, and just like stares.
Because they're
From-
bored.
I know.
They weren't
Thousands.
even amoeba at the time. They weren't even glints in their parents' eyes at the time.
But they get the Game Show Network. I mean, that's how they could see it.
Well, no, it's true.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't believe anyone under the age of 45 watches the game show thing.
I think people do.
and then,
Okay.
maybe, but I was just, and these kids, they don't even probably have those channels that carry the game. They're just on Roku or whatever.
Speaking of which, do you remember? I'm going to take it's my question, so I'm going to take a second.
Sure.
Do you remember when Password was the sophisticated game on television? I mean, it was a smart game. It was like Jeopardy. It had a smartness to it. Okay, so Jimmy Fallon rebranded it as Password, right? And
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon plays every week with another celebrity guest.
Cool.
And Jimmy Fallon does everything but dance on the desk. He runs around, he makes faces, he carries on, he sings, he
It's
dances.
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, is it really necessary? Password holds up
No,
by itself.
It's not necessary.
There's a show about putting it's got Meredith Viaga. I can't remember her. Meredith Vieras. Excuse me. I just married her to you. Your wife would be very unhappy. Meredith Vieira has a show on Channel 5 in the middle of the night. It has to do with words.
But yeah, and
words.
it's nice because it's not goofy.
Exactly,
It's
it's not
not-
goofy. You can make jokes, but it's not goofy. Password was not a goofy game.
Well, it is on Jimmy
Didn't know
Fallon's
that.
comedy show. I mean,
Well, yes, it is. But I mean, he has a full
Venue.
hour. He
Yeah.
has a full hour to do that with. I mean, the network must really love him. I don't know.
Somebody once said that Jimmy Fallon wasn't a human being. He was actually 5 squirrels in a suit.
I believe that. The ones that stand on top of each other with and the guy in the middle
You
steals
can
the
say the same
pretzels,
about Martin
right.
Short, and I love Martin Short. So
It's all about the ratings. If he's not getting ratings, they wouldn't be
Right.
on the air. Let's be real. I mean, we know
he's
it's
doing
real.
what works for him. It's not only what works for him; he's doing what he knows how to do.
Yeah.
If I were teaching and I was just sort of standing by the computer screen and kind of pointing and talking like this, there are teachers who do that wonderfully, and I watch them and I'm like, why am I not bored by you? Why are you
Yeah.
captivating me just talking to me like this? And yet I have to be at my students and run around the room and be on point and go like, listen to me, I'm communicating with you. Put your machine down. That's who I am. I can't stop.
You do not collect the machines in a basket at the top of the class? What's
Yeah,
wrong?
well, when I get naked, I do. So,
Oh my lord!
anywho, let's
Back to the quiz.
take me out of the quiz and put me back in the take me out joke.
Okay, ready,
Leslie,
set,
here we
go.
go. Here's the question for you. It is a multiple choice, and it's about music. But I don't necessarily know if you're going to love it. On this past Wednesday, artist Leon Ivy Jr., aka Coolio, died of unspecified causes at age 59.
That's my Coolio.
But can you specify which of these was not the title of a Coolio song? Yes, I know you know his whole discography. There should be a snap for you, Leslie. Which of these is not the title of a Coolio song? A, I Like Girls. B, Hand on My Nutsack.
Oh jeez.
C, ugly bitches,
Oh God.
or D, do you want to read this? Bitches ain't shit.
Wow.
Only one of these is not a Coolio song. Oh. Well, which one?
If the line "Hold Hands on My Nutsack" were in the song, that would be better. That's actually the title
It's
of
a
the
ballsy
song.
title. Yeah. Yeah.
This is like last night on Bill Maher. Some woman, I don't even know who she was because I turned it on in the middle, was talking about blowjobs in a graphic novel in a high school library, and she couldn't stop saying blowjob. She said it 27 times.
Well, that sucks.
That's
So I can't
hard to swallow.
not think about the nutsack one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, since they're antithetical completely, I love girls and bitches ain't shit. One of those has to be wrong, right? Because they can't both be right.
God.
You can't hold those two things in the same small brain. So
Well, if you have
I'm
big
gonna
hands, you
say
probably could.
I Love Girls is not a Coolio song. My process of
I like
weird,
I like girls. I like not I love I like girls. Is that
same difference
same
in my
difference?
mind. Yes, okay. I think that is far too normal a phrase for it to be a Coolio song.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, unless it's one he wrote when he was 8 and hadn't quite gotten into the
Oh,
big
that's
note yet.
cute. I like girl.
Well, he may have written it when he was 8 because that is a Coolio title of a Coolio song. So
It seems so sanitary.
I know. Don't do it, David. Don't say it. Don't say it.
What about sanitary pad? I wouldn't. I'm gonna roll the die, and oh, sorry, Vicki. I just made a number 2. Your question.
Oh,
I know,
okay.
Robert.
Dare
I
I
know.
ask you to?
Yes,
dare
I'll read them
I ask you
again.
to read the remaining 3?
Which of these is not? Are you glad you stayed on to play the game, Robert? Which of these is not a Coolio song? B, Hand on My Nutsack. C, Ugly Bitches. Or D, Bitches Ain't Shit.
Boy, oh boy. Bitches ain't shit.
Is
I'll
that
just go
your,
with that. I'm guessing.
He just wanted to hear you say it. That's
I
all.
want to hear all you say. Is that your final answer?
Sure.
I don't know if you know this, but Bitches Ain't Shit was cut from The Sound of Music.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right.
It was restored in the
It
revival,
was the
though.
captain song.
They put it back in with extra music. Yeah. No, but Vicki, congratulations.
Oh.
You are correct.
I am correct.
And the great, wonderful thing about this, not only that you get 2 points, but that there is a song called Bitches Ain't Shit, but it's from the Dr. Dre discography, not Coolio.
I thought you were going to say Dr. Doolittle. I was like, oh.
They have bitches in Dr. Doolittle. He
Well,
does.
Indeed.
Indeed, yeah. And the doctor does put a hand on some nutsacks in that thing. It's like, you don't want to talk to me? Yeah, you're going to talk now, llama. But anyway.
Wow.
Well,
We
excellent.
We have a tie game. We have a game.
Wow.
Robert and Vicki both have 2 points. Leslie not yet on the board as we move.
No,
You
and
do
both of those questions, if David Schroeder were here in his honor, I will say, are both D's. Both of those questions.
Yeah,
Double D.
David. Well,
That doesn't mean
like that.
anything, Robert. You don't need to know what that is. Honest to God, it would take too long to explain.
I think I know what that is.
No, just David.
I'm lucky enough to know what that is.
Yeah.
I know.
All right.
Really? Okay. That wasn't the one I was going to explain. But that's okay.
No, David has David Short, who cannot be with us for a couple of weeks because he's real busy with work stuff. But he does a thing where the questions become so nonsensical that the only way he does it is how many A's, B's, and C's, and he does it more mathematically like that. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I wasn't, but I think Robert has something else in mind, and that's okay.
Sure,
Congratulations.
Anywho, it is 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern time here in the
Wow, that
David.
went by like that, didn't it?
It did. And we are playing the Today Yesterday trivia game with our wonderful friends Robert Viagas, Leslie Hoban Blake, and Vicki Quade, moving into round 2, the second and final round, with questions starting again with Robert. So Robert, you're tied for the lead. You can put 2 points on the board and take the lead.
Come on, Robert.
Question right. This is not a multiple choice though.
You can't ask any ghost friends, though. It has to be a one-person answer.
Yeah, you cannot be. Olive cannot help you here. David Belasco cannot help you. The little cat.
Coolio cannot help you.
Elio
And
will not help
gas
you.
tire can't help you.
Bunch of Floridians.
He's alive.
Not happening. Okay, so
Donna, are you standing by?
good morning, Olive. So,
Uh,
Robert, here we go.
Scary,
This is a-
too scary. Too
And
scary.
the year was 1905. František Pavlik, a 20-year-old carpenter, was bayoneted today during a working class protest in Brno. In response, this composer wrote the piano sonata 1X 1905 in his honor. Name that composer who also wrote the Moravian national opera Janufa.
Spell it.
Janufa.
J-E, yeah, that's right.
Wow.
J-E-N.
Enufa.
Yeah.
Can you read the question again?
Yes, I can. The year, but I won't. Yes, it's 1905.
1905. Guy was bayoneted.
Yes.
They wrote. What was the title of the?
In his honor, this composer wrote the piano sonata 1X, get it, 1 October, 1X 1905. Name the composer who also wrote the Moravian national opera Janufa.
Shostakovich.
Whoa.
Is that your
You
final?
said it with so much confidence.
I didn't know. I said it with complete lack of confidence.
Oh.
I said it as a Hail Mary. Yeah, that's my final answer.
Oh, you ugly Shostakoviches. That is not the correct answer, I'm afraid, but good guess. We're going to roll the die. I think Leslie sort of knows it, so if she gets this. I rolled a 3, another 3. It does this. I don't know why.
that adds up to 6.
God damn. A 2. Vicki Quade.
I'm going to do something unusual. I'm going to give my opportunity to Leslie because
Opportunity.
I don't know the answer, but if Leslie knows it, she can get 2 points.
Right. Well, you can guess wrong and she would still get.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
All right.
take away her beautiful moment of friendship
Okay.
to me.
No.
Take away the
Lin-Manuel
female
Miranda.
stance of
Okay.
Oh, Vicki, no. Vicki, no. Bad
Solidarity.
Vicki, no.
I
By the
missed
way,
it. I was talking. I missed it, Vicki.
No, she said
Lin-Manuel
no,
Miranda.
it's it's a
Oh,
joke that we've had for on the other show.
no.
Well, Robert, before Leslie answers, you got a comedy thing to share? What?
No, I remember the actual name. So if they don't guess it, can you come back to me? Because I think I do know the actual composer.
Well, I'm not sure,
You
but
won't
I
get
had one
points,
of
but
those
we can-
brain farts where the name comes when you
Yes,
say.
all I
things,
could see
you know.
was diacritical marks, and then it like came to me.
Yes, there
Is he
it's on.
Groucho's
It's the
cousin?
name that I have.
Diacritical
Has
marks?
to-
I don't know.
Do you want me to say the name?
Yes.
Janacek.
Right.
Is that your final answer?
Yes. And the only reason I know it is because what I know is Janufa by Janacek. I know that phrase. I didn't know any of the other stuff you were talking about. That's the way the game works.
Well, I
Right,
threw
same
in
with
the
me.
Janufa thing to have a little extra clue because it's a very tough
Am I
question.
right, Robert? That came from the Janufa, not from any of the other stuff, right?
That's right. That's the only way I
You
knew
did
it
Janufa,
also.
Right.
So there you go. Well done, Leslie. We have an actual old.
We have a
round
tie, a
tie.
We have a
three-way tie.
Excellent.
I love
Love
when it's close like this, and yay, and good job, Leslie. I
Did any of
saw
you
you
see
knew
the
that
cup?
you met.
Did any of you see the cup that I'm drinking out of?
It's beautiful with the question mark.
It's well,
that
and
like
if I
the
turn it
Riddler?
around this way, it's half face. This is from the original Batman series
Yeah.
of cups
Yeah.
from McDonald's.
Wow.
Oh,
I have 3 sets of them. I got them on eBay,
Ooh.
It's
and they
Jim
do
Carrey
break
as the Riddler.
occasionally. They hardly ever break because they're very thick and they're made in France and they're molded. So I just happened to be drinking tea this morning instead of coffee, so I used my.
Leslie, would you believe? And this is just a little bit of ethos on my part that one of my teachers at NYU was Lorenzo Semple Jr., who created
Oh, really?
the Batman
Okay.
TV series.
What was he teaching? Writing,
Screenwriting, script writing.
screenwriting. Okay.
Yeah, nice guy. Anyway, that's just me.
No, I
showing
think
my
that's
left side a little
fabulous.
bit. Yeah,
Where did you go? Where did you go?
NYU.
NYU. So was that the dramatic writing department?
It sure was. Yep, that was one of my
Was
masters.
Gary Garrison still running it at the time you were there?
I don't think he was. I think he was there. I don't know if he was running it when I was there. But
I was there as a director / actor in the company, not as, but I picked up all the writing stuff anyway. I was allowed to audit all the classes. When the people in the class wrote something,
yeah,
then it was produced, it was put up in an evening of, here's what we do in the dramatic writing department.
yeah.
So who's the, oh God, oh
Well,
God.
Janet Nypris was running it when I was there. A woman.
Okay, yes, Janet took over from him. Janet took over.
So that was,
Janet was running a whole bunch of things down there. She basically ran the whole
yeah.
drama department at one point. But who is the guy? Oh, please help me here. Robert will know if you don't know, David. Who
David
wrote
Glasgow.
Beautiful and all of those strange plays? He wrote. Oh, I'd be terrible on a game where Andy gave a clue.
Harry Condolian? What are you talking?
No. A writer, Broadway, started off Broadway, writes strange plays, and they seem to be misogynistic.
Mamet? What are you talking
No,
about?
good guess.
He started the Atlantic Theater.
Much younger than Mamet. Somebody who came out in the 90s, which is when I was in the class.
Oh, the Mormon?
Yes, the Mormon.
Guy.
Thank you.
Well,
The Mormon was in our class.
I know who you're talking about.
Neil LaBute. Okay, Neil LaBute
Yeah.
was in the class. Neil LaBute was extremely strange. You know how there's always that one guy in a class that everybody looks at and everybody puts he's the strange one, and then they can feel they're normal. That was what Neil LaBute. And Neil LaBute wrote a one-woman piece about, and it was obviously written for someone like speaking of double D's, what was her name? She was married to Genevieve Page. No, not Genevieve Page. What was her first name? She was married to Rip Torn. Geraldine Page. It was written for somebody like Geraldine Page, and I was not at the time anywhere near that. And anyway, so it was about a future date where there was a female dictator. And the word dictator is important because it gave her, this marked me forever in that group. I had to, instead of a gavel, it made me use a very large dildo. This is a male-hating futuristic place, and I had to bang on the podium with the dildo after every third sentence, and it would shake like this, and then I would, this was Neil LaBute's gift to me, his personal gift in the dramatic writing department. Thank you very much.
Hey, whatever crazy as he was,
whatever, right?
Said he was going to rub her the wrong way.
Yeah. Didn't he win a Pulitzer at some point or something?
Hey, let's be happy and give you Benoit balls for crying out loud. God knows how you would have done that. But anywho, I don't know what I'm talking about. Put my tea down. All right.
I'm terribly sorry, but I just
offended himself.
You will have to forgive me. I just had this flash. I'm sorry.
Right. No, I know Neil LaBute. All these people have stories of their. Leslie, it's about time you start writing your memoirs and stuff.
I'm not important enough. Nobody would want to read my memoirs. Thank you.
If they're funny,
like memoirs of an also ran or never was, or
Those are my memoirs too. Welcome to the club. It is what it is.
I'm not a has-been. I just never did all those things.
Yeah, well, you were on To Tell the Truth, and you have stories. I mean,
yeah, right.
Let's move on with the game. Where are we in the game? So the next question.
Stories of someone adjacent.
To Vicki.
I think we're next week, right?
Vicki. We have a question for you. Remember we're playing some kind of game here? We have a question called. We've been doing this the last couple of weeks now. Change one letter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's their favorite. Yeah.
I like that.
I'm gonna write these 3 down so I can look at them. Okay.
Right, here we go. So it's called Change One Letter. It's kind of a poetical question for you and self-explanatory of someone who was born today, okay, in history. Can you change this Olympian with your letter-changing powers, the first woman to run the NYC Marathon in 2.5 hours? Change one letter and you'll have a chance to convert her name into a dance.
Oh, into a dance. Oh, wow. The NYC Marathon. What year was that? Was the marathon?
I can't.
You didn't say. No, that's okay. But the clue is that she was the first woman to run
the New York City Marathon in 2.5 hours.
Oh, 2.5 hours. So she was fast. Yeah. Man, that's a good one. And convert it and it becomes a dance.
Is it David? Never mind. I don't know it.
Boy, I don't know it. Yeah, I am sorry. I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't know.
And what's the name of your website then? Where can we send tickets to
Oh,
your show?
nuns for fun. Here, I'll put this up too.
On your book.
I love your
Ah!
pumpkin patch. Charlie Brown, I can see Charlie Brown behind that very last one over there, waiting.
That's me, Linus, I think. Close and oh, there you go. Close Encounters.
Close Encounters.
That is
Yeah, put it
Vicki's
by-
book. Yeah.
my book, which somebody just asked me about the other day. I was like, oh, well, thank
Well,
you.
why wouldn't they? Yeah. So, but you did not have an answer for the quiz.
Not
question.
one answer. I'm thinking dances like, but I'm thinking old-fashioned dances. And that just didn't work.
5, Robert Viagas.
Good.
Robert,
Better
did you
you
do
than
it?
me.
I can barely tell you what sport the Yankees play. All the room that most guys have for sports trivia, I have theater trivia. I'm going to throw another Hail Mary here. I'm going to go with Juno, June, and Jump.
Ooh, Juno, June, Jump. Well, yeah, you're only looking for 2 of those words.
Oh,
So like,
you mentioned
Change
3
one
things.
letter.
yeah.
Hmm?
What?
Change
You
one
mentioned-
letter.
Yeah.
You mentioned
change
Olympian,
one
you mentioned a dance, and you mentioned somebody who ran a
But you
this
only
is probably
change
going to be
one
wrong
letter
anyway,
to
so I
get
don't
the-
need
change.
to.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
you can
like
anyway,
waltz
so-
would be vaults, or twist would be twirl,
Right.
you know.
So I'm sitting up here
Or-
doing, it's my
yeah,
turn, I know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm sitting up here
twirl,
doing
yeah.
cha-cha matcha. I mean, I don't know the runner's name. I know names of dances. So I'm doing salsa, waltza. I have no idea. So I'll go with, I have no idea. That's it. I threw out my best choice.
Oh, I've stumped the parent. So you're nobody's doing a.
No, I don't know. Well, I thought originally it was Jenner, but of course, saying a female runner would be very upsetting to Jenner. So I don't know.
All right. Well, here I'm going to read the poem again, and then I'll go. So, can you name this Olympian with your letter-changing powers, the first woman to run the NYC Marathon in slightly less than 2.5 hours? Change one letter, and you'll have a chance to convert her name into a dance.
We know it's a woman.
When you said Olympian, I thought you meant a Greek god. That's why I said Juno.
Oh, no, she's an Olympic.
Oh,
She's also an Olympic medal
And
athlete.
we're thinking old dances. It could be a new dance.
It could, but actually, it is not a new dance.
All right.
Domingue and merengue?
No.
Ooh.
I don't
And you
know.
guys, both of you
Pony,
guys, mentioned it.
We mentioned waltz.
cha-cha, waltz, twist.
So what is her name?
It has to
Waltz?
be twist.
No, maybe
no.
she's kind of been forgotten, but the dance is the waltz, and
I
the
don't know her
marathon
name.
runner's name was Greta Waitz, Waitz. Remember her?
No,
No.
Oh, no. I guess
sorry.
Greta Waitz, no. 9-time New York City Marathon winner. Olympic silver medalist.
It's not a sport. I
I'm
mean,
like Robert.
I know it exists. Like Robert, there's not enough room for certain things in my brain.
I guess we'll have to dance away from that question. That doesn't. Sorry about that. Oh well. I stumped the panel, but not happily if it's that obscure. Oh well. So
No, obviously, look, I live in New York, and so does Robert. We both should know that, but I don't. I mean, I just don't.
So here we go. Here we have.
I do know what
Yeah.
sport the Yankees play. However, I even know that Aaron Judge has 61 and now is.
If I had more questions, I would have done a judge one for 3 clues.
Right.
So
Weren't they the North in the Civil War? I haven't quite figured that the connection there.
Yeah. Now this
Now
is
Leslie can win right now.
Leslie.
Leslie, go
Oh,
for it.
right. I have
can
I'm the last question in the last round, right?
And
Yes.
you're the champion from
Okay.
last time, right?
Come on, Leslie.
So
Okay.
here we go. Now, if Leslie gets this wrong, one of you,
We have a
either
tie,
of you
and we
could
have to
still
do a
win,
tiebreaker,
Could
and
right?
still-
we have a tiebreaker too. So this is big.
And I will give my chance over
Vicky,
to
oh, that'd
my
be nice.
dear friend. Yes, right. We'll do it
But
like
Leslie,
that.
this is your
I
favorite
love
kind of
those
question.
pumpkins, man.
Leslie, you're going to love this. Guess what kind of question it is?
Three
Oh, shit.
news. Three clues.
Thank you.
It's another 3 clues in the news for Leslie Blake. There we go.
Horrible. All right.
Ready?
Go ahead.
The clues are season, Carter, force.
No idea. I put them first, second, third. I put them second, fourth, third, fourth. Nothing is coming. I have no idea. Nothing.
Is the third word force? Force?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
nothing.
Okay.
Be my guest, guys. Go win the game.
All right. I'm gonna roll the die. 3. No. Is anybody 3? No. We have Leslie coming up 6 again. 1. 5. Robert Viagas. The clues are season, Carter, force.
The only reason I'm going to guess this is because my wife is a inveterate fan of Babylon 5, but I understand that the character of Captain Carter is going to be the driving force in the new season of Babylon 5.
So what is the word that we're looking for?
Babylon?
Babylon. Interesting. New season
I
of Babylon.
love the way that went, and I love the fact that she loves Babylon 5 because so do I.
So is that your final answer?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Broadway Babylon. Well, you know what happened to Babylon in the Cecil B. DeMille movies. It just went. So
Hollywood Babylon. How about Hollywood Babylon?
Oh, yeah.
That was a good
That was-
yeah, Hollywood Babylon.
I have all those books, I'm ashamed to say.
Of course.
So do I.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I got them right there on the bookshelf.
Well, Vicki, guess what?
I know. I give an opportunity. But you know what? I was thinking my kids love Star Trek, Star Wars. I mean, all of that. So I was thinking Space Force, Force Field, but then nothing matched with like season field, season space, space season, field season. It just didn't match. Carter. Carter. Oh, look at
Babylon, of
you.
course.
Excellent.
Wow. You're
Carter.
closer to your books. Mine are across the room. So
Jimmy Carter.
mine are up.
Jimmy
Mine are up in
Force.
that bookcase over. I can't point to it there. Okay.
Well, that's as much anger as I want to see in this quiz. So, okay, anger. Okay.
Kenneth Anger, who rode on an elephant in Midsummer Night's Dream. He was a little kid on the elephant in the scene that in Midsummer Night's
Oh,
Dream.
Mickey. Are you talking about Mickey Rooney?
No, he was not that young. Kenneth Anger, who wrote this book,
Oh,
rode
got
on
it.
an elephant in the black and white spangly version of Midsummer Night's Dream that had everybody in it. Somebody should do that again. Somebody should make an all-star Midsummer Night's Dream. That'd be fun.
Reinhardt directed that, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I don't know if anybody would give a puck, but Vicki, we're waiting for your answer.
I know. I'm looking like apple. It's here in the Midwest. It's apple season or it's pumpkin season. It's
So
the
it
fall
is.
season. It's the season of leaves. Carter. I don't know. I mean, I think of Carter. I think of clothes for kids.
Yeah, me too.
Jimmy Carter, Space Force. Geez Louise. Final Carter. I don't.
Sing out, geez, Louise.
Geez Louise. Come on, geez Louise. Tomato. Carter tomato.
I don't even know where that's coming from.
Stew.
Tomato season, of course.
Stew season.
My name's Dave,
Stew.
not Stu.
I'm going to say stew, even though it's wrong, because it's the season for stew. You know.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, it's wrong.
Well, yeah, because you've been stewing about this all week. All right, you guys are gonna friggin' kick you. See, I felt bad about the last question. It was maybe a little too hard.
Which one is this one? It's so easy. What is
This
it?
one is so insanely easy. You're literally gonna lose your shit. I swear to you.
What is it?
We're gonna
Well-
plus.
It's connected to something in the news, right?
We knew that.
Ukraine?
Oh, I got it.
What?
Hurricane.
Oh, Hurricane Carter.
Hurricane.
Hurricane.
She's in Hurricane.
Duh,
Hurricane.
duh.
Ruben Hurricane
You gotta look
Carter.
at it through your side eye. You know, you gotta look at it. The third
Yeah,
eye
yeah,
up
yeah.
here is the one that gets it. Yes. Okay.
Sure.
I don't apologize for that.
I
one.
got
That
both
one-
of those after you took the
Yeah.
pressure off, right? Yeah, I know.
Well, the pressure's on for all of you now because here's the deal: we have still a completely exciting tie game between Robert Viagas, Vicki Quade, and Leslie Hoban Blake. Here's how-
like this before, right?
Here's how. Well, we've had three-way ties, and I keep asking my wife for a three-way, and she's just not going for it. But anyway, do you have a pen and paper, all of you, including Robert, or something to write with and something fantastic, something to write on? Because Robert, we do this last question, this tiebreaker, a little bit differently. I read the question, and then instead of directing it to one of you individually, all of you write down your answers. And then when they're written down, I'll give a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and you will hold it up to the lens of your
the heat
computer.
is on.
Whoever gets this win, and we might have a tie. We might end up having, a double tie if two of you get this question correct. So, are you guys? Robert's getting about right. Get Donna to help you, or Donna Chachelitz.
Just brought me a piece of paper.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Donna.
Donna.
You said you're welcome.
Gotta sing the song.
Oh.
Donna and Joyce can
Donna.
form.
Yeah.
Donna and Joyce can form the Ghost Wives Club because they don't appear on.
Donna,
TV,
can you
but
bring a
they're
piece of
there.
paper? Thank
Robert and I
you.
tend to
You're a
live a
ghost.
little while longer, I hope.
She's not a ghost.
Yeah.
I know.
She's lovely.
Neither is Joyce. I was just making. Hi.
Hey, hello.
Pretty Donna.
Hey,
Nice, she is so cute. Look at her. Oh, what a
I
cutie.
think
Hello.
you did that on
That's-
our show too, Donna.
oh, wait,
Good luck.
smile, look right
Thank
at
you.
it.
Bringing you
Smile.
good luck for
Wait,
your
look
Thank
right
you.
at it.
I'm ready.
playoff.
That's my
Well,
shitty
actually, wait,
bottle
now-
right there.
Well, you can't just go away, Donna. Donna, how old were you when you first met? I mean, you were obviously in grade school. When was the first time you guys met?
10. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I mansplained. How
Done.
old?
We were 10. We were in 5th grade.
She's just throwing that picture
Yeah,
away.
that's a gorgeous picture. There's no reason to not like it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. Were
I
you,
guess after seeing it literally 100 times, it's not as much fun anymore.
Here we were in 5th grade.
Oh.
hold on, wait.
Oh.
So, Robert, are you in the red there, or with no?
Yes, that's right. I still have that. I can still fit in that dress. too.
Yeah, it must be public school.
So, how long have you guys been married now?
No
Has it been a couple of
uniforms.
years?
2 years.
2 years.
3 years. Mazel tov, mazel tov. So, are you going to do? Have you taken any amazing trips somewhere? Have you gone on vacation? I mean, it's been a pandemic.
COVID. No, we haven't, but we're
Are you
planning.
Yeah. Where would you want to? Where's like your dream?
Ask them if they had a honeymoon with,
Well, home. Yeah.
We would like to go to Hawaii.
My kids too. They want to go for their 30th anniversary.
Well, you have to go there to get laid. You can just go anyway. Anyway.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Thank you ever so much. Anyway, it's wonderful. Dana, do you guys, is Dana allowed to? Donna.
Donna.
I have a cousin, Dana.
Who's this
Do-
Dana?
Do you want to help? Is it okay if they work as a
No,
team?
no, you
Oh,
can't.
No, I'm leaving. Please enjoy your competition.
Tiebreaker, David.
That's
I don't care one way or
It's
the
great
other.
to meet you,
be
Donna.
honest.
Thank you so much.
She can come.
Bye-bye. Thank you for being on the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to need a third for a while. So I guess it's been great. So
Okay.
here's
Right,
the
heat is
tiebreaking
on,
question.
ladies and gentlemen.
It is not a multiple
Oh,
choice.
darn it. My paper fell down. Sorry.
Oh, hold on.
No. I got it. It's right here. Here.
She's going
I
out.
love the way you
Take a
disappear
seat.
out of the pumpkin patch and then you come back.
All right, here we go. The year was 1896.
It's a good year.
Born today as Ernest Nash in Texas, this writer and performer hit the vaudeville circuit at age 15 and never looked back. Throughout the 1920s, he worked both individually and together with Moe Howard, Shemp Howard, and Larry Fine, refining their slapstick and turning them into the Stooges. Name that comedy creator.
Should I just slap it up?
No, wait.
No, not yet.
Give them a
Second.
chance to write down.
We do
Repeat
the-
it one time, please.
3,
Repeat
2,
it one
1.
time.
And then what I'll do, Robert, is I'm going to read the question one more time. I'll give a countdown of 3, 2, 1. And then at the end of 1, everybody holds up their stuff together. So it's all at the same time. All right, so I'm gonna read the question.
Wait. Oh my God, I have an idea.
Just read it one more time, please.
All right.
Go ahead, read it one more time.
The year was 1896. Born today as Ernest Nash in Texas, this writer and performer hit the vaudeville circuit at age 15 and never looked back. Throughout the 1920s, he worked both individually and together with Mo Howard, Shemp Howard, and Larry Fine, refining their slapstick and turning them into the Stooges. So I want to wait until you all have something written down.
I have no idea. I changed my mind because I had an idea and then I realized it was
This,
wrong.
I remember my grandparents were in vaudeville, so I have my answer may come out of the wrong part of my brain, but go ahead.
That's okay.
Well,
Well, just try your best.
Can you name that comedy creator? 3, 2, 1. Hold them up to the lens. Oh my God, we have a tie!
We have a tie.
We have a tie. Well done, Leslie.
Whoa, a tie. Excellent.
So who's the tie? I can't see.
Robert Viagas and Leslie Hoban Blake tied.
Wow. So we have a tie.
Nice.
Tie.
And by the way, what did you write down, Vicki? I couldn't really read it. What did you have?
Oh, it was wrong.
Well, I know, but what was
I think
it?
she wrote down nuns for fun.
Maybe you should have.
That's right.
Nuns for
So
fun.
are you going to give us another tiebreaker?
I don't have another.
No.
Does Donna
No,
want to come
that's
on
a
and
good
give
one.
a tiebreaker between Robert and
Let Vicki give a tiebreaker.
Vicki? Do you want to try?
Of course. Of course. Okay, here's one. It's so simple. It's pathetically simple.
Wait, but they
Okay.
write down the answer. They have to write
You
down
write
the
it down the
answer.
answer, and then we'll show. Okay.
Okay. In what city were peeps invented?
They're those little chick candies that
I
are
know what
basically,
those are.
they're basically sugar. It's like air blown sugar, right? And color and artificial.
Just a little, this is not going to help you, but when they first came out, it took 27 hours to make one peep because
Oh my God.
Wow.
But
now
it,
they make them in 6 minutes.
it took 2 minutes to raise people's blood sugar.
I will
Right.
only give you this hint.
Exactly.
I will only give you this hint. If you
All
know
right.
what I specialize in writing, it's a pretty obvious answer.
Oh well, wait. Well,
That's
if you put it like that. So let's give it 3, 2, 1. In what city were marshmallow peeps invented? Leslie, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Chicago. Well, wait. Leslie, you can't have 2.
Well, because
Give you the answer.
I was going with Chicago. And then
I was
you
going to
said
go with Milwaukee.
No.
So nuns
So
are-
obvious.
nuns are Rome.
No. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Ah. Huh. Well, why were you writing about Bethlehem, Pennsylvania then? Why? How was that you a clue?
Because it's Bethlehem, all right?
Oh.
There were no nuns in Bethlehem. Come on. There were,
Oh.
Bethlehem,
It was
Pennsylvania.
Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah.
Where peeps are from. They're made there still.
What?
Robert, your mind and my mind work
Hirsch,
exactly the
you're
same way
Hirsch.
for that one, right? She does Chicago stuff. What else?
They're still.
No, listen, I'm
Yeah, but
thrilled
why?
to be
Well, do
tied.
you want to have it? No one won yet. Do you want to come up with one, Joyce? Do you have a?
Let me
You do another tiebreaker?
Robert, let me tell you that I'm thrilled to be tied with you.
Yeah. Hold on. Joyce is googling.
mutual.
Can you hear me, Robert?
Yes, mutual.
Right now, Joyce is trying to find one more to break this tie. While she's doing that, let me remind everybody about what you guys are doing. So, Leslie Hoban Blake. Oh, sorry, Rob. We'll get through. Okay, I'm going to ladies first. Leslie Hoban Blake. Do you have a new episode or new postings?
I don't even want to talk about it. My heart is broken. We had nothing up new, and there won't be anything new until we start back to the theater. There'll be the last thing we put online was As You Like It, and of course we're booked for everything coming up in October, the same way you guys are. So we'll be seeing Piano Lesson and 1776 with all women. I'm not sure how I'm going to take that one. And Racing in the Sun, where my good friend Perry Gaffney is in that cast. And whatever else is being offered, that's what we're going to see.
So for a couple of weeks, nothing,
Yeah.
but then you're going to post a whole
Did
bunch.
you get an invitation to come back to Funny Girl?
I
No,
don't recall. No.
No, I didn't either. I'm gonna write them a note and ask, because I never saw it the first time. Because I wasn't going to the theater when.
I saw it
so
with
I-
the very good understudy. Well, I'm forgiven.
Oh, Benko, Julie Benko.
Julie Benko, she's
Benko,
really good.
Benko.
Yeah.
People
I
thought
saw
she
her at
could
the
do it.
York Theater. She was wonderful. I
Yeah.
think she was in Subways Are for Sleeping. She was terrific.
Yeah. Whether
Okay.
well, they're saying Leah Michelle is the next sliced bread, so who the heck knows? But
Well, we all knew that she was going to be wonderful. I mean, she's been practicing for that since she was 11, you know.
True.
Right, exactly.
well, so have I.
Again, you.
And I bear her no ill will. I think getting your dream is the best thing that can happen in the whole world. So, you know.
Meanwhile, Vicky, I'm sorry, Joyce is sending me some questions. Vicky, tell
Do
us.
you think we'd have a problem filling dead airspace with that?
Never.
Well, I was gonna suggest a good tiebreaker, because I think you probably both know it, is who was the first guest on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show?
Write it down, don't say it.
Write it down, don't say it. The very first guest on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show.
I have no idea.
I think I have this right, because I saw this.
Wait, if you're not sure.
No, I'm sure.
Oh, I love that. That's terrific. I love your signboard.
David,
Okay,
we
let's
left
do
the
the
new
3-2.
one. We left the old one in New York, so David had
Yeah.
to find a new one. Oh,
Ooh, you okay? Yeah.
yes.
We have a 3-2-1. Who was the very, very first guest on Johnny Carson's version of The Tonight Show? 3, 2, 1. What you got there? I can't read yours. Frank Sinatra. I was thinking Sinatra. I was thinking Jack Parr. What did you write down,
I
Les?
thought Jack Parr, but I wasn't sure. I didn't write anything. I just thought I don't know it.
Vicky?
Groucho Marx.
Oh, how wonderful. No, I don't remember that at all.
His, okay. For his first, the Tonight Show, it says his first guests were Rudy Valley, Tony Bennett, Mel Brooks, and Joan Crawford. Of
But I'm wrong.
And Frank Sinatra.
So I go, but here's
Was it
By the way,
really?
Vicky,
Frank?
tell everybody, please.
It said the first guest on the Tonight Show was Steve Allen.
Well, it was
That's first host.
host of the.
Host.
Well, maybe they interviewed. Maybe Carson had Steve.
Okay,
Allen.
I always thought it was Groucho Marx, but I'm wrong. But you guys got it wrong anyway.
Well, you got it wrong.
Yeah, you were.
Excellent question.
Now I'll change that.
You think what I do is easy here? Okay. I got one more question. I got a question that Joyce found for me.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
It's Robert. You can all answer it, but it's Robert versus
Write it
Leslie
down,
for
write it
bragging
down,
rights.
Yeah, write it down.
Okay, and it's just a definitional thing. What is cynophobia?
Oh.
You gonna do a countdown?
Well, I guess Robert doesn't need a spelling. Leslie, do you?
Just spell it.
Well,
Spell it.
I don't know. It won't give it away for me, but
No, wouldn't give it
CYNOPHOBIA.
Oh, that's important.
There's a bunch of questions on that page if you need
Yeah, I know.
it.
We might be here a while.
Hope your Sundays are free.
So Joyce was right. You guys spell it CYNOPHOBIA. Cynophobia. What is it? 3, 2, 1. Fear of
Poison.
yellow. That's a
Fear of
great
yellow.
answer. Fear of poison. That's also terrific. And did you have fear of Chinese before? Because I would have said Sino.
Yes, that's what I had. That's what I crossed out.
CYN.
Because I thought it was SINO.
That's so Joyce is right to do the spelling thing, but it's actually fear of dogs.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be canophobia?
Sino, right? That's
Yeah,
the Sino is not. Sino is definitely yellow. That's what the color
Longest game
cyan
ever.
comes from.
Let me find one here.
And Vicky, it looks like you're looking for a question too. Are you? Yeah, you're searching. I know. Oh my God.
Oh, yes.
Keeping all the answers, Robert, they make a great book.
From
Yeah.
all right.
And then
Wrong
whoever's the
answer.
closest to the number wins.
Yes.
Okay. We got a
Yes.
good
Here
one.
we go. Okay, we got
a good
one more question for you. All of you can answer it, but it's Robert versus Leslie Hoban Blake. Here we go.
Please write it. Yeah.
How many languages are written from right to left?
Oh, that's a good
Closest to
question.
that number.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It is a good question, yeah.
Whoever's closest to the number wins, so we can actually use the question.
How
That
many
guy's probably say
languages
only
go from
one
right
counts.
to left?
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? It's not like the reverse of. I know. I can only name a couple. I can't.
A couple. I can only name two.
Maybe some Urdu. Urdu.
Well, you do that Urdu that you do so well.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready? You have a number written down. Okay, whoa. How many languages are written from right to left? Show them. Okay, I see 7, I see 6. So, ladies and gentlemen, the official bragging rights to yesterday quiz go to Robert Viagas!
Oh,
The
what's
answer
the
is
answer?
12.
You like
You were
12.
12 languages.
What did they say?
It doesn't list what they are.
No, what did
Oh,
Oh, this is just closest to. This was.
By
not
the way, I wrote
actual-
it backward, but it appeared forward on the screen.
well, if you read it
No,
right to
no,
left.
it appears backwards.
I wrote it right to left, but it
Yeah.
comes out on the screen left to right.
So
I
how
don't
many
know
did
why.
list?
Very
She
clever.
had 6.
Oh,
So Robert was just
what did
this
Robert say?
7.
Oh.
So,
I was
so in
just
other words,
as-
he didn't get
I
the
was just
answer.
as
It was just
wrong.
closest to.
Yeah, if you turn it upside down, Leslie, it would have been 9, and therefore you would have been closer to. So, anyway,
No, I'm
There we
just.
go.
I
That's
just
what I
don't
meant
have
to
the
do.
bragging rights. I just. It's not.
You win.
The answer either. It's
so
okay.
Robert Viagas wins the quiz today.
Excellent.
Woo!
I
So
think I
this,
have a
this
ghost.
allows me to task Robert.
Now to
Something
pop
just
that
fell behind
champagne.
me, and I don't have anybody here, so I don't know what that was.
We'll be sending you your check in 2027. But Robert, you should be getting lots and lots and lots of royalty checks for your new book.
You're gonna send him a doll.
We're going to send you an American Girl doll.
I want the Jewish American Girl doll. I want the little menorah.
I want catering. Yeah, they're telling you pull the little string. And it's like, my husband doesn't do anything. So there we go. Good Morning Olive is the book that you can get and read
Why don't we give him
immediately.
Lovely.
The soundtrack to the Macbeth of.
Right. Like Macbeth and Mabersk.
Yeah.
But these are the books that Robert has, or he's written both of them, but only one is published at the moment. Good Morning Olive is available from Amazon, from Plus Theater and Cinema Books, anywhere you can get books.
You can get it on
And-
Amazon. Yeah.
And in a few months, I think in June, coming out, June of next year, Right This Way, A History of Audiences. That will be his next book, already in the printer.
Already on sale. By the way, they're both going to be available, not yet, but soon, as audiobooks. I've got contracts on both of them for audiobooks.
Oh, that's so great. Now,
And you're reading them yourself, I assume.
No, that they
No?
very gently told me we want somebody professional to do it. I said I was on the Sirius XM for 6 years. They said no. I have right to pick to approve the people that they pick.
Is
Approve
Brad
and
Pitt
disapprove.
available?
Yeah. Who'd you get?
I don't even know the guy's name, but the guy's going to read the ghost book. He has a nice voice. He's going to be good.
Yeah, but you would have been. This I do not understand. It's not, and not like you talk like this, Rob. I mean, you're a perfectly great speaking.
It's
Thank
called
you.
The Publishers, David. You have no idea.
No, but if I were a publisher, I would have gotten someone like a famous Broadway actor that would have made, with all due respect, sense. You know, that might have sold some audiobooks. Because, I want to hear Brian Darcy James read. Okay, fine.
Do you
Well,
realize that
why?
there's an entire the people who do audiobook reading win prizes. They have audiences of their own.
Oh, yeah.
I have a friend who does this, and she's won 5 Audie Awards, AUDIE Audie Awards,
Right.
and as a complete following of people who will read the books who will listen to the books if she's reading them. It's a particular niche.
They sent me clips of people who wanted to do the book, and I picked the person that I liked the best.
And amazing enough, it's like, Good Morning, Olive, by Robert Viagas. Copyright 2022. Yeah,
That's right.
it sounds just like
Was
that.
David Lefkowitz on that list?
He's not, alas.
Mazel tov, Robert, on the current book, Mazel tov.
Yes,
on the upcoming
congratulations.
Thank you.
Are your fingers fused to your keyboard? Is that the way you
Wait
do
a
that?
second.
How do you manage that?
book.
I know that suction
Yeah, but
cups.
where's the other hand? And also, he's also working with. What do you actually do for the Encore stage pills? You're the editor, right? Or
I'm the editor in chief. I finally got the title editor in chief.
Nice.
and after all those years at Playbill being managing editor, whatever the hell that meant.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Pretty.
Ah,
Oh.
you know that I wrote for the precursor to that, which was also called Encore, right?
I did not know that.
It was the off-Broadway. I could get up. May I show you? And we
Go
got a
ahead,
second from
because I gotta talk to Vicki anyway. Go get it.
Well, I just
Vicki,
need to be able to get over
Yes.
here.
what can people see of yours? What shows can they see if they
We
go to the
kicked in
Green?
nuns for fun, so.
Well, yeah. Well,
Well, right now we're doing, tonight opens Holy Ghost Bingo,
Mhm.
God, Goblins, and Games, which is the subtitle.
He said
yeah.
Um,
And you're still
and also Late Night Catechism is on at the theater.
and people can get tickets at nunsforfun.com. So Leslie used to write for.
Robert,
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
Oh, yes, I remember that very much.
Robert,
these
can-
Lovely.
are the scripts that I
what's
wrote
the
in.
current typeface look like on the cover?
Of the Encore cover?
This doesn't exist anymore.
No,
Yeah,
I want to see the
yeah.
typeface.
Robert's is,
Oh, so they did like yours is is it serif or sans
It's a
serif?
serif font. Yeah, I don't know the name of the font off the
It
top.
looks like Arial or something, but the other one looks like almost Times New Roman, but it's not.
I think these ended in 2000. I think they went from 96 to 2000.
It's interesting that the typeface, because Roberts has a, I don't know, 70s vibe to that typeface.
Well, there's a new serif in town.
Oh.
I also edited this national magazine, Encore magazine.
Right.
Holy
Right.
cow, look at that. That looks great.
It was just beautiful, and it's on hold right now. We're trying to get some.
Well, aren't you keeping the
We
website
had you
going?
on. We had you on our show, publicizing the
That's right.
beginnings of the premiere.
I remember that. That was very helpful, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well,
Robert,
the thing is, it was in the middle of the pandemic.
That's right.
Yeah, but I checked the Encore's website. It looks like you're still. Are you keeping the website going? It seems like
Yeah.
new.
Well, I mean, we're hoping that the magazine will resume publication. It's not
a hard copy, but
completely dead, but
the digital is still up there and still.
that is
with-
correct.
with new content. So
That's
we'll
correct.
tell people that's true.
And
So-
I have several copies that you sent me. I have those 3 copies that you just held up as
Yeah, they're
well.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful magazine, is a beautiful magazine, and I hope it will continue to be a beautiful magazine.
Yeah.
Oh, you are all beautiful people, and we are delighted and thrilled to have you in the Daverhood. All of you, Leslie Hoban Blake, Vicki Quade, Robert Viagas, Ashana Tova to all of you, and Robert, by the way,
Thank you.
beautiful Hebrew, wished Rabbi Saul Ashana Tova. I was
No, I
telling.
think he
Is
was
it Shana Tova or Shana Tova?
he was possessed. He was possessed by the ghost of Olive. She came through.
That's right.
People who are over 50 say Shana Tova. People who are under, they say Shana Tova. I was taught Shana Tova, but I was Shana Tova. Mazel tov.
When I was a kid, they said Yom Kippur, and then
Yes, I know.
at a certain
Yom
point, it became
Kippur,
Yom
yeah.
Kippur.
Which is the correct
Pronunciation.
Even
Right.
Mazel
Because
Tov should
it's a
really
U,
be
it's
Mazal
not an E,
Tov.
right, of course.
I'm not kidding. It should be, but we anglicize it. We
But I'm a Goyish cup, so what do I know?
Oh.
Anyway.
And
you
I,
are
Robert,
all-
am a half a Jew, spelled Haffa, half a Jew.
There you go.
I
Guys,
am.
a delight. Vicki, I'll see you. I might see, God knows, I might see all of you. Not next. Oh, by the way, this is this thing. We're not doing our regular program next week. You should know this all, that October 6th is the 20th anniversary of Dave's Gone By. We went on the air
Oh, that's great.
October 6th at 11 o'clock at night. So this Thursday night, Dave's Gone By will be live for an hour like we used to were when we were on WGBB. 1 hour, 11 o'clock Eastern time for our 20th anniversary episode. Then we're
That's great.
Saturday, and we'll be back the week after that. So
Nachas and Glick.
thank you. So everybody start doing the wavy, thanky, kissy things while I let you go. Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much, man.
So you want us back on the 13th then?
Right, exactly. Yeah, that will be the next official one, unless you want to come in for like a minute or two on the anniversary show.
Are we allowed to?
Yeah, we would love to have you. Come on, you guys have been part of the show. Just for a couple of minutes, So
You
Vicki,
are,
I throw that out if you're free Thursday night at 10 o'clock your
Chicago time. Yeah.
sometime after
And
like
11 o'clock our time?
Yeah, and it'd be 11 o'clock. But from 11 to 11:15, we have someone. Just come on. You might have to be in the waiting room for a little bit, but
Okay.
I'd love to see you
Now,
shortly.
did I do it right this time? I came on like a half an hour early.
It was fantastic. You came on just in
You
time.
never told me that I could do that. You never
Oh, yeah.
told me that I could sit in the waiting room.
You can,
Why would I
absolutely.
Well, I
want
know
you
that
to?
now. Thank you. It only took, what, 25 or 30 shows to do. How many shows have I been on? I have
For a
no
couple
idea.
years. Yeah.
However many shows I've been on, nobody, you all said get up at 6:30, do all of that crap. Nobody said you just go in the waiting room and you wait.
Yeah.
So I went in the waiting room. That's how come my hair looked okay, because I fixed my hair while I was in the waiting room.
Well, this is I don't tell people log on 45 minutes early because it's I don't want to tell them you have to be ready 45 minutes early, but you can.
No, for me, it's necessary. It worked.
Do
Let's
it.
see if we can keep it up. I'm happy to do it. It
Whatever
just means
works
getting my
best.
machine
Yeah.
fired up. That's all.
Log in
All right.
first thing I get at 10, if I have
And leave it on until Saturday. Right, I got it. The next week, I got it.
guys.
Enjoy your weeks. Good luck to
Yes.
An easy
mazel
fast.
tov.
Yeah. Easy fast, Leslie. Also, I don't know if you're fasting or if you're slowing.
I'm debating. I don't know.
Leslie,
I do
don't
some
fast.
years, I don't other years.
No, it's not a healthy. You shouldn't do it.
Don't fast.
Well, at my weight, it's not a bad idea, regardless.
And Leslie, what the hell are you talking about?
No. I'm very careful to show the part that's okay to show. When I'm on the phone, you get a much better idea of how, it's
About-
sort of everything settles, So this part
Leslie
is
wants to
not
get to
too
her
bad.
birth weight.
Yeah. Leslie, as long as you show your boobs, I'm happy. So there you go.
No, I love your hair, Leslie. Just
Yeah,
show your
that's
hair.
okay.
It's gorgeous.
That is so kind of you to say, because I have this wonderful woman who comes to the house and she always gives me, it's always appropriate and it's always, it grows in beautifully. But I can't always make it work as well. And today I think I did. I went to the pool yesterday, so I had to.
And by the way, Vicki, your hair's lovely too.
Yes, I was going to ask you if you got a haircut. Did you trim some off the bottom?
Yes, and this morning, my bangs.
I wasn't sure about the bangs, but I was sure
Bangs
about
to
the
the bangs,
length.
Yeah. So guys,
I have been letting
All right.
mine grow, and then I
Bye-bye.
Loa,
Bye-bye.
a joy. Happy New Year, both of you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Leslie.
Leslie, and bye, Vicki, and great shows this weekend, by the way. Talk to you very soon, I hope. Bye. All righty. Well, I'm here. I'm back. It's Dave in the Daverhood with the 866th episode of Dave's Gone By. How did this happen? We used to do 10 questions in the quiz, right? We used to have a 10-question quiz. Now I cut it down because I'm so busy during the week to 7
And it
questions,
goes 3 hours
and we're
long.
longer. I don't know how this goes on, but yes, you're watching the.
Because your guests know each other and they
Yeah.
feel comfortable engaging.
And we yak and it's part of the fun. The part of the fun of Dave's Gone By, Ghost Town. Ooh, because of Robert Viagas' book, Good Morning Olive, which you can get where all books are. Doesn't it sound like isn't he a wonderful raconteur and speaker? And shouldn't you? We should have said he's going to be in Port Jefferson this week at the library there. I think it's Monday.
David, I tagged him.
Oh,
so
good.
if they
Oh,
look
good.
In our chat, they can see his
Yeah.
name and they can click on his Facebook stuff.
So buy his book and go get it autographed by him at the library and hear him speak, just as he was with Rabbi Saul.
No, but David, he'll be whispering because he's at the library.
I want him. I hope he'll come back, especially with David Stewart not going to be on the show for a couple of weeks. It'd be great to have Robert back playing the game again. It would be an absolute delight, and a delight to have Vicki, and a delight to have Leslie and you guys here every week in the Daverhood from 9 until noon or thereabouts here on
I'll
Dave's
shut your lights
Gone
off.
By. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. One more time. Ooh. Pretty spooky, huh, kids? Pretty spooky, yeah. So, we have a bit more. We have quite a bit more to do on this episode of Dave's
While you
Gone
guys
By.
were doing the quiz, I registered next Saturday at I think 3:30. I think next Friday or Saturday at 3:30 I need my flu shot. So
Oh, well, okay.
I hope I did Saturday because Friday I have a meeting, so I'm going to check my.
Check it. You can always reschedule. It's just Walgreens,
No, I can't. We're going to Safeway, that clinic.
But it went away to Spain. Safeway.
A Safeway.
Get it? That's comedy right there. There's not just a market for my material, there's a supermarket. Anyway, I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my wonderful wife, Joyce. It is 11:45. No, it's almost 10 to 12.
David, yeah, I thought we'd get bagels.
In the
10 to
David-
8. So today is this first. It's next. It's next Saturday at 3:30.
Next Saturday,
We could
fine,
get
okay.
bagels. I bought at Boober's, or we could go to Mom's or whatever.
Next, yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, before or after the shot, depending on how you.
No, I mean today, so then I.
Oh,
can
today.
order
Oh, okay,
cornbread.
yeah. Well, we have a bit more to do with the program. We have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We also have, well, we have Greeley Crimes and Old Times. We haven't even done that yet. And I also want to do a quick, just a reminder farewell. I posted that on the website and on, I think, the Facebook page. We did lose two, and this is pretty rare. We lost two friends of the Daverhood over the past week, and that kind of made me sad. We lost director Robert Calfin, who created the Chelsea Theater Center, and he was on the program. I didn't realize it was this long ago. It was over a decade ago. But Bob Calfin passed away. He was well into his 80s. So sad, but a good life, and just directed tons and tons of shows. I'm reading remembrances of his students on Facebook. I think Evan Handler posted
That's sad.
about him and saying, it was like Handler, who went on, of course, he's best known for his appearances on Sex and the City, and I Saw Him on Broadway, and I Hate Hamlet. I was saying that Bob Calfin gave him one of, if not his very first acting assignments, and he was there, he was there to be part of the theater and get shows. And he's like, it was essentially an unpaid internship for 12 to 14 hours a day. And he said, these days people would have a problem with that. But back then, it's what you did. And he got the opportunity to act and to learn from Bob Calfin. And he's very grateful. And we were very grateful to have Robert Calfin on the program. Plus, and if you want to hear the interview that we did with him way back when, just scroll down on the Facebook page or go to davesgoneby.com, look for KALFIN, and there it is. Plus, you can also hear the intro. I didn't mention to Robert, and Rabbi Saul didn't get a chance to talk about. Robert wrote a book about the Fantastics, and we lost the original Louisa, Rita Gardner, just a couple of days ago. And Rita Gardner, she was on this program too, talking about Jerry Orbach and being in the Fantastics.
About the origins, yeah.
And she did about half a dozen Broadway shows as well. So Rita Gardner, we lost her too. So that's kind of, we lose more and more as the show gets older and older towards our 20th anniversary. But two in a shot.
I'm just checking for deer and
that's
fox.
Too many. Anyway, but moving beyond that, we have more show for you. So, hon, are you feeling a little bit criminal?
Yes.
Are you feeling like a criminal?
Yes.
Well, then I guess I better play the theme for Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Ba-da-da-da, pretty ugly. Da-da-da-da, bring you indeed we. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Crimes and Old Times here on Dave's Gone By. What this is a commingulation, if you will, and don't, of a couple of different items that are in the Greeley Tribune newspaper, real newspaper, when Joyce and I were living out in Greeley, Colorado, in northern Co., about an hour and a half north of Denver. And in this paper, which is actually basically local and current and Colorado-based news, but there are two intentionally funny articles in the paper every single week. And they're both based on real things. One is when people who see something weird going on in the neighborhood want to contact the cops and say, please send the policeman, this is bizarre. And we're not talking about the real...
This is bizarre.
Not murders and
bizarre,
horrible assaults. We're talking like, this is... And sometimes the phone calls are more bizarre than the actual activity, but they're all noted. It's public record, and then the Greeley Tribune people comb through these, and with names removed and everything, of course, put in the details once a week in a column called Cop Log. Also, our friend of the Daverhood, Mike Peters, he goes through the newspapers in Colorado from 1922, 100 years ago, and he plucks out the weirdest, goofiest, most bizarre items that were back in the paper back then. Or they didn't seem that bizarre back then, and now to modernize, we go kind of like, meh. So we mix them up, and we call the results Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Let us begin with a crime, a Wyoming woman. Some people say why, I say Wyoming. On 9th Street said she came all the way to Greeley to get her hair done.
Whoa, that's a long trip.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an hour, and
I know.
it depends on where in Wyoming.
Yeah.
But the stylist didn't do what she wanted.
Uh-oh.
Instead, she paid $340 to have her hair destroyed and bleached.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know what you paid. I want to know what you
No,
paid.
I paid for the haircut $60 and I gave her a
That's
tip.
Oh, that's all
It
right.
was very affordable.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, David, that coloring, like if you get a color and layers or tint, and sometimes they put like 5, 6 colors, they do all sorts of they have a belage, all sorts of names for it. You can get coloring that's up to like, I'm sure $600, you know?
Well, this one was paid. She said $340. I love the word, to have her hair destroyed.
Yeah, but
and bleached.
but usually what they do, any good salon, if you're unhappy,
Well, yeah.
they'll tell you like you can't just recolor immediately because your
Oh,
hair
right.
will break off. But they'll have you come back and they'll work with you.
Well,
but I
one
guess she's
assumes,
mad because she's far away.
but if they don't, she's gonna call the cops.
I would too.
Bad salon. That salon. No, you would not call the cops on a salon that messed up your hair.
Yeah, but she's mad. What do you do? I guess you write a bad
Awesome.
review.
Yeah,
That
you
would be
Yelp.
the-
Yeah, Yelpatize
you
them.
do a bad review.
A caller on 3rd Avenue said that although police told a man to leave his yard, he came back and hid in the bushes.
Why did he have to leave his yard?
No, the man, not his own yard.
Oh.
Yeah. A guy says, like, the guy in my yard, the
Listen.
guy leaves.
You gotta give him some credit for trying to be sneaky.
Yeah, right.
He's trying to hide in the bushes.
He's like the fox. He's trying to duck in behind the
Nobody
bushes.
sees me.
It's like, if I close my eyes.
You won't see me. Magical thinking.
Yeah. A caller on 11th Avenue. It's interesting that all these callers have the same ring. I never
I
understood
guess
that.
it's because they're calling. That's the police phone.
Oh, you're right, yes.
Yeah.
A caller on 11th Avenue reported, oh dear, yeah, this is an aggressive raccoon that residents were feeding. Yeah, you don't want to feed.
That's why they said when I called the wildlife lady, they said don't feed the one.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't
it
feed-
says I think you're not supposed to, but he might be rabid. You shouldn't feed a raccoon who's aggressive. He might be rabid.
Yeah, no, it's actually, and also if you try and track him down, right? If you try and say which raccoon is the rabid, which one did the
Yeah.
damage, which one scratched
It's
you.
hard to say.
It's about because you know what? They all wear masks.
That's true. They were pre-COVID ready.
Yeah.
They're like, we're masking up.
Hey, by the way, a caller. Actually, this time I'm gonna know. Remember, she called the police.
Yeah.
A caller on 32nd Avenue said
Yeah.
a rooster tore up her front yard. What is she expecting them to? I guess catch
yeah, I
it.
mean, roosters are, they're mean. You know. We learned that about blue jays. Roosters and blue jays, they're not.
Well, they
not
don't
having
rooster
it.
like they used to. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, thank you very much. I needed that. Thank you. One more. A caller near 65th Avenue. Remember, these are people who are calling the police department.
Yes.
A caller near 65th Avenue said a driver pulled over his vehicle to take a picture of an elderly woman walking her dogs.
What?
So this woman sees this happening.
Yeah, but why can't you take a picture of
don't.
anybody? Maybe
Well,
that's his granny.
it
Maybe
could-
that's his mom or something.
Even if it's a stranger, it's privacy issues. But why are you calling the police?
Well, maybe they think it's stalking or something.
Maybe it was xenophobic. I just learned that word today.
See
Yeah.
the puppies. Take a picture of their pets.
I thought that, Rabbi Saul thought that one xenophobic is you're afraid of going to Mount Sinai, which he is.
Yes, I believe so.
And now let's go to some old times. These were items that were in the paper back in 1922, 100 years ago. So, and these are real, again, it was called the Greeley Tribune Republican back then, and these were items in the paper. At last night's wrestling match at Island Grove Park, Go Ho Go Bar, he was my favorite wrestler back in the
Mine
day,
too.
beat John Hackenschmidt.
Oh.
finishing the match with a punishing toe hold.
Ew.
What is that? I know it's a word, it's a phrase in wrestling, but the idea of like, I've got your toe.
I
I got your toe.
Yeah, but if you ever break a toe, it's very painful. So maybe it's like toe breaking.
Oh, you can get, also if it goes bad, you get ptomaine poisoning.
Oh.
Yes. These are the jokes, folks, as Dave's gone by.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
A farmer, this guy's got a life. A farmer harvesting pinto beans.
Oh, they're tiny.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine having to pick those by
I guess you
hand?
get a tweezer.
It's like 6 days a week. I gotta go out and pick the fucking beans. 17 hours picking the beans. I got my bean basket. I'm gonna get my son when he's old enough to shoot me in the head, so I don't have to pick more fucking tiny.
Read the story.
A farmer harvesting pinto beans from 30 acres just north of Greeley had the vines collected and stacked, just waiting for the thresher. Before it arrived, strong winds hit, scattered and damaged the beans.
Oh no.
The farmer was able to harvest only 2 bushels of beans worth $6.
Oh.
You know what I said? The problems of farmers just ain't worth a hill of beans in this crazy world. You know. Imagine harvesting all this time and then losing everything. It's like, yeah.
$6 is not going to cover the farm, you know.
Yeah. Well, for a week,
Yeah,
back
but
then.
that's usually the harvest is when they make their money for the year.
I guess now he's a has-been. Okay. At the Weld County Fair, look how long those have been going on. There have been very few problems with liquor. Very few problems with liquor, and the visitors have behaved themselves, except for a boy, age 12,
Yeah.
who continually went to different people and put his hands in their pockets, apparently to steal something. This is not the first time he has been arrested on the same charge.
Whoa.
First, it makes me wonder who arrests people under 12, even back then.
I guess, but you only lived to like 15,
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
guess you know.
And it's like
But
King
that's
Edgar only
That's
lived
the
to 30.
classic pickpocket, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
It made
I'm
me
hoping
think of
that's what he was
Sweeney
going
Todd.
for.
It made me think of like Sweeney Todd.
Unless he was like a perv and going for the front pockets.
No, I think
Like,
it was pickpocketing. Go ahead.
Here's a column. So back in the day in newspapers, not just they wouldn't just have news. They would sometimes have little editorial or aphorisms or cute little joke things. So here's one of them. This is a column, quote, "Someone was urging little Martha to tell her secret when she sagely remarked, 'A secret isn't a secret after it's told.'"
Good. She's smart. She should have got a little American Girl doll for that.
I'm surprised she's not in one of my courses. Anyway, let's do one more old-timey thing. Dancing girls in Greeley are practicing their moves at the Camfield. Their feet must hurt. They're practicing their moves at the Camfield Hotel, getting ready for the musical comedy All Aboard. The director says, quote, "Now front row girls, left foot forward, start with 2 skips,
Ooh.
turn on the right foot, kick backwards, turn again, and already piano, follow me." Yeah, pretty
That's
cool.
a lot.
Turn, kick, turn,
That's
turn,
a
kick,
lot.
turn.
That's
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah,
That's too hard.
and it's a direct quote, so that's quite. They're doing some good moves there. Left foot forward, 2 kicks, stick, right foot, right kick. Yeah, I'm already lost. I couldn't even
I think
begin.
that's like pre-rocket. No.
It kind of would be. Yeah, just pre-rock. It's still the age of vaudeville, so it would have been. They would have had those kinds of moves. We have a little more crime for you, and then also we have an elsewhere. We've got to do the elsewhere. But let's see. It is, by the way, a little bit after noon Eastern time here in the Daverhood, live on this September. No, it's October 1st. October 1st, 2022.
10-1-2-2.
Here in the Daverhood, the 866th edition of Dave's Gone By. So, some new crime. A woman on Alpine Avenue said the lady next door seems to think she can come over and seduce her husband.
Oh my God.
And by the way, she added to the cops that she was sick with COVID for 2 months. Why she added that part, I don't know. Maybe she hasn't been able to get near her husband,
Maybe
so that's
she
an
hasn't
extra.
been able to fight off the lady who's seducing her husband.
Yeah.
That's Peyton Place, honey.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
A caller on Montview Boulevard said that a man tried to break into her home and then sat on the front porch.
Oh, wow.
Hey, I guess we can't get in there. And it's like, you know what? I'm not really stealing anything. I just want to be in your house.
Maybe he was taking a lunch break.
Porch is close enough. Yeah, man. He just wants to stare at the house from outside.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's go elsewhere. We do this. I know all these stories about Greeley and Colorado, but we also sometimes have stories from far, far away, and we do those too. We call them the elsewheres of our Greeley Crimes and Old Times. So we go not only elsewhere far away, but time-wise, we cast ourselves backwards into the past for this story of weirdness. And this is, if you know me, if you have known me for, oh my God, the better part of 45 to 50 years, you know why this story is meaningful to me. Mesoamerican tribes have had a long history of administering liquids through the lower digestive tract in a procedure known today as the enema. Maya drug enemas included psychoactive substances, entheogens, those are substances with hallucinogenic properties, and alcohol. Not only did the Mayans seem to know a lot about the digestive tract, but as depicted in Mayan pottery, the ritual ecstasy of drug enemas was rightly practiced. Oh, there's more. It's a whole story in Ancient Origins, if you're looking for the website on this. And now a 1986 study on this subject has been awarded 2022's prestigious Ig Nobel History Prize. Not Nobel, Ig Nobel History Prize, which was created to, quote, honor achievements that first make people laugh and then make them think. So yes, and they had pictures, I don't have it to share with you, of ancient Mayan pottery of a guy kind of smiling when somebody is sticking an enema up his ass. I'm not kidding you. This is visually depicted on the art. Did I actually say, I'm wondering, I feel as if I purposely saved this picture on my desktop so that I could share it with you. Did I? I did not. Shame. I was hoping that I did, but I didn't. Okay. Either way, there's more. Go figure. During the classic period of Mayan pottery, visuals depicted included palace scenes, ball games, hunting parties, dances about human sacrifice, and drug enemas. Since the initial discovery in 1977, many ceramic pieces have been turned up depicting scenes of drug enema usage and ritual and ceremonial. You know, we needed dishware, we needed cutlery, we needed cups and things just a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we got like Chinette, and we got paper plates, and we got some nice stuff from Crate and Barrel or wherever, or Kohl's, whatever. Why didn't we wait a little bit?
We have to go to a museum and get that.
Get some Mayan drug
Maybe
enema
for
pottery.
your anniversary of the show, we could do that.
Imagine if I could drink from a cup on this show.
Yes.
And drink chocolate milk. Out of
Remember
the
I
mug.
got you the toilet mug? And
Yes!
We drank it.
This is the equivalent, an ancient Mayan mug of a man receiving a psychotropic enema thing.
Yes.
And I could be drinking hot cocoa out of that.
That would be great.
It would be beautiful. And yet, we have to buy just regular
Next time.
dishware.
Next time. Next time.
Since the discovery of Mayan drug enemas, yes, there's more, runs quite contrary to the traditional view that the ancient Mayans were contemplative people who did not indulge in ritual ecstasy. The occasional display of vomiting actors would seem to provide a plausible reason why the Maya opted for rectal applications In other words, people were taking it the other way.
Oh,
Then they were now, how'd you like that dishware? Han, I'm making a lamb. Get the puking guy.
No.
Some scenes present a fair amount of evidence that an alcoholic beverage may have been taken recently.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry, rectally.
Oh.
After 3 hours, I can't talk anymore. The 1986 study was written by Nicholas Helmuth and Peter de Smet.
Mhm.
And by the way, Peter de Smet, the author of this article back in 86, well, he went the extra mile.
Oh no.
And he tested substances by self-administering various drug enemas. Quote, the results certainly support the theoretical suggestion that alcohol is absorbed well from an enema, the authors of the study noted. Now, we were just talking 2 weeks ago about this guy or this journal that had to retract an article
Yeah.
about a guy who was jerking off to cartoon animated child porn.
I think it was I don't know the name for you.
It was a Japanese thing. It was like, underage teenage boy porn. And this guy was trying to write a paper about why that affected people and how it turned people on. So he tried jerking off to this porn and then writing it was a thesis or was it an article? It was a journal article about it. And then meanwhile, here's a guy back in 1986, was it? And he's writing a journal article about Mayan enema drug pottery. And in order, did he have to go that, is that part of the thing?
Maybe isn't that investigative journalism?
I don't know.
You're the journalist.
But isn't that there's no reason to do that.
Maybe he wanted to.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he wanted to.
I hope he wanted to. I hope it was voluntary.
No, his co-author said, you know what? You want first author on this?
You got it.
I did most of the writing.
I hope he did had some.
I did the annotated bibliography.
I hope that he.
Here's a tube.
I hope that he got,
You want to be first author. You do the work here. You do this part.
I hope so.
Anyway, let's go back and do one or two more crimes or old times, and then we will table this segment for this week. Let's do some old timesy thing. Oh, by the way, hon, I don't know if you heard.
What, honey?
C.S. Buchanan and Mrs. J.W. Ewing were hostesses last weekend at a luncheon for the Swastika Club in Greeley.
Oh, wow, really?
And the ironic thing, we made jokes about this like years ago when we first started doing Greeley Crimes and Old Times, of the idea of a swastika club. It gets weirder and weirder as we move. Now it's 1922. It isn't like 1918 or anything. It's 1922. And imagine what a swastika club would mean just 1 decade later. So you think about it. But back then it was just a thing. It was just like the Rotaries. It was just like the Shriners, and then the, what do they call the Fez people, the Shriners, and the Knights of Columbus and the Knights of Pythias. Yeah, that's not, I don't want to do that one. Let me do this crime here. A woman on 8th Street said she was afraid. Ooh, ghostly. She was afraid of her 4 male neighbors who carry machetes around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know what? That might be a police call. That might be like if my neighbors were swinging machetes around, I would probably call the cops.
That's not bueno.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Now, I used to drive a machete Malibu.
Oh,
That's terrible.
Mr. Peabody.
That's so bad, I can only end the segment with that. Ladies and gentlemen, that, for this week, was Greeley Crimes and Old Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
Oh, he was not.
I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi, yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Okay, so we still have, unfortunately, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned to do. And I wanted to share one more thing. I know you were all overjoyed by the American Girl doll catalog that we accidentally received this week from the that was supposed to go to the old owners of this house. I hope they don't mind if we don't forward that in the mailbox. But we did get something else fantastically amazing in the mail, in advertising circulars, ladies and gentlemen. This is from a place called Ollie's. Ollie's is a place that sells a lot of stuff. Like, this is very tempting for me. They have 4-tier heavy-duty shelving. I said duty. And it's only $40. I mean, I'm tempted by that. They have curtain rods, pretty cheap. I mean, it's that kind of place. Luxury vinyl tile, laminate flooring.
What are they selling?
It's in Ollie's. I'm not sure where Ollie's is, but I guess there's one locally in northern Maryland. And then they have a calendar and a planning board and cappuccino hot cocoa K-cups. And look, one of my all-time favorite things now. They sell, and it's not even a great price, stroopwafers. Oh,
so
delicious
what's the special thing?
Ladies and gentlemen, and by the way, there's also the hip peas, okay, hippies,
that's
tortilla
cute.
chips.
I like that.
That's cute, yeah.
That's really a cute name.
Success rice and mascot peanut bars and stroopwafers. But this is the most beautiful thing ever. You can go into a lot of, or back in the day, really, you could go into supermarkets and specialty stores and five and dimes, and for no good reason, there were shelves of books, right? You go there, and maybe there'd be puzzle books for the kids and astrology books and stuff like that. But they would also not even have bestsellers. They would just have this weird range of novels and classic novels and books for kids, and then weird leftover remainder books that you've never heard of that are just littering the shelves. And I'm almost tempted to buy this. And it's that Woolworthsy thing of the strangest books imaginable all sort of show up on the shelves of. But this is amazing. I mean, this is not Jacqueline Suzanne, and this is not what was her name, Jackie Collins, or those people.
Oh yeah.
Hun. Swear to God, at Ollie's, and we have to buy one.
Yeah.
Because remember when I was doing the thing where I was reading on the air, I was going through a whole book about a boy and his goat.
Oh yes.
The German boy Hansel and his pet goat. Well, this is apparently a fiction genre, a real, actual genre. Take a look. And I hope it's not backwards, but I guess you can probably read backwards. Your choice, only $4.99 for Amish romance books.
Oh, let me see.
Who doesn't love a nice Amish romance book?
Oh.
All these, I guess, rather attractive Amish women
They hold hands.
coming of age. No, it's not. They're not lesbian Amish women.
No, but I don't think Amish do anything before they marry, so it might be for Chase.
I like to see Luther swing the hammer.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
I would
Oh,
too.
the muscles on his arm when they're putting up the house. Yes, I would make bigger pretzel for him.
Yeah, I bet you that's exactly it.
Because I'm sure they're basically G-rated-ish.
I've never heard of it. It's interesting.
No, why would we have heard of Amish romance books?
I like it. Let me see it.
That's very good. Honestly, can you read? You got glasses on. Can you read the titles?
It says Devoted, Imposter, The Quieting.
The Quieting.
Suzanne Woods Fisher, the Bishop family series, though.
Yes. Best-selling author of Amish
That's
romance
so cool.
novels.
That is very
I
cool.
mean, it's a nice idea. It is.
I'm filing it there.
She's filing it in the circular. But, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, and yes, we have to get to our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, we want to thank again the folks, and especially with our anniversary show approaching, we absolutely want to thank all the people who have appeared on this program. Not just the amazing group who appeared today. Robert Viagas, author of Good Morning, Olive, theater ghost stories, backstage ghost stories from all over the country, even around the world. Good Morning, Olive. It's available from Amazon. It's from Applause, Theater and Cinema Books, and available wherever books are sold. And he's even signed a deal for the audiobook, Good Morning, Olive. Go get yourself a copy. The man has 20 books to his credit, including 10 volumes of At This Theater, a book about A Chorus Line, if you love that show, a book about the Fantastics in honor of our late friend Rita Gardner. Get Robert Viagas' books. Robert, V-I-A-G-A-S. Robert Viagas. And of course, just like me, you can go read all his hundreds and hundreds of stories that he wrote for Playbill just by going to playbill.com. So thank you to Robert for being on the show. Thank you to Vicki Quade. This weekend, she is doing Holy Ghost Bingo. She's starting it for the season today. And then also, of course, the long running Late Night Catechism that she co-wrote with Mary Pat Donovan. That is being done at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago. Oh, and remember, speaking of in person, Robert Viagas is going to be at the Port Jefferson Library this weekend. I think the library at Mamaroneck also this week. Go see him, get your book signed. And then, not to be outdone, Leslie Hoban Blake, our beloved theater critic and director. Although they aren't posting currently new shows yet, it's still the tail end of summer in a way. Remember that you can watch hundreds of hours of Two on the Aisle by going to the Two on the Aisle channel on YouTube, and also the new episodes when they start will be on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, Two on the Aisle with Leslie Hoban Blake. So those are just the folks who've appeared. How can I forget the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sal Solomon, founder of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. He has a website. It's shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T. Shalomdammit.com. It needs a little bit of updating, but there's still tons of content on there, including all his rabbinical reflections. Those are his short sermons, like 4 to 8 minutes long, that he's been doing on Dave's Gone By for years and years. You can read them. You can also hear him doing them. Plus his one-man show, Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Rabbi Sal Solomon, which appeared at the Richmond Shepherd Theater. We taped it, and it's wonderful. It's 2 full hours of the rabbi being the rabbi in song and speech, not dance, but the rabbi being the rabbi. Shalom Dammit. The link is right there at shalomdammit.com. Check it out. Well, now let's get to folks who haven't been on the show today, but who've been on in past times. We call them the Friends of the Daverhood. Yeah. The ghostly presences of Rita Gardner and Bob Calvin. They're joining us today. So they're in the Daverhood, even though their spirits have left this earthly plane. So we want to wish, I don't remember if I did this last week, but I'll say it again, congratulations to our friend Alan Menken, who won the Max Steiner Award in Vienna.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know what it was. You explained it to me later.
Well then, also, by the way, if you are on Long Island, where we used to be, tonight.
Or where Robert's doing his one-man talking about ghosts on theater.
Well, you can also go see Peter Noon of Herman's Hermits. He's going to be there in a double bill with Gary Puckett, in case, well, if there's a union gap, you can go see them both. But Peter Noon is at the theater at Westbury. They used to call it the Westbury Music Fair. Now it's the theater at Westbury tonight, October 1st. Also, October 1st, today or tonight, you have to check the times on this, but Chaz Palminteri is doing his really terrific one-man show, A Bronx Tale, at the Town Hall on West 43rd Street in Manhattan. And not only that, if you stick around, there's going to be a Q&A after the show with him. So he did the show on Broadway years ago. He's still bringing it around the country. This is a rare opportunity to see it again in New York. A Bronx Tale. They made a musical out of it, which wasn't bad, but the show itself, the straight play, is really, really good with Chaz Palminteri. And then tomorrow, Sunday, Mike Agranoff is at the Hurdy-Gurdy Folk Club in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Also, starting tomorrow, new series. Hey, it's the fall TV season. I haven't even paid any attention to this. I grabbed, as I always grab, the TV Guide fall preview issue because I used to collect them, and I still do, I guess. But remember when it was a big thing, like, oh, the fall network TV series, and now it's like, huh? What? There's still networks? But there are. And Ruben Santiago Hudson is a star on CBS TV's new series, East New York. And it starts tomorrow on CBS television with our friend Ruben Santiago Hudson. Jamie DeRoy and friends. Jamie DeRoy is a big-time Broadway producer, but even after all these years, she's still doing cabaret. Try my tea.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Cabaret benefits.
Just take a drink. Calm down. Take a drink. Is it still hot? No. Is it okay?
That's fine. I just leave the bag.
Okay.
Mm.
I don't know what's in here. This is something in here too.
That was my coffee
Oh, okay.
from this morning.
Oh.
Thank you very much. What was I saying? Oh, I'm sorry. Jamie DeRoy.
Cabaret.
Yeah, she does it just for benefits of stuff. Getting cabaret together. Jamie DeRoy and friends, and her friends are real major cabaret people. She's doing one. She does one every month, and this time it's going to be Monday, October 3rd. And one of her friends appearing is the wonderful Karen Mason, also our friend of the Daverhood. That is happening at Birdland on West 44th Street in Manhattan. And then on Tuesday, October 4th, and also on October 8th and October 11th, 3 chances to see Linda Eder, Broadway actress and songstress Linda Eder. She's doing Feinstein's 54 Below. And then, oh my God, I cannot believe it is ending tomorrow. This is your last chance to catch the beautiful Broadway musical Come From Away. It is tomorrow matinee is the last one. So you have today, tonight, and tomorrow to see Come From Away, this wonderful musicalization of a true story of what happened on 9/11 when planes couldn't land in New York and one was diverted all the way up into God knows where, Canada, and just the way the Canadian people and the Canadian authorities responded to these terrified stranded passengers. It's a wonderful piece. Come From Away, written by Irene Sankoff and David Hine. It is at the Schoenfeld Theater, but only until tomorrow afternoon. And then Wilson Germain Heredia, he is appearing in a play called How to Dance in Ohio, and that is at the Syracuse Stage in New York. Louis J. Stadlin, you have just until next weekend to see him play Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman. Roger Hendricks Simon, he's appearing in a one-act play called Love, Sex, and Real Estate, being done off-Broadway at the Chain Theater now through mid-October. And of course, every Saturday night at 5:30, Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano are at Birdland singing songs from the Great American Songbook and beyond. And don't forget, Hal Linden and Bernie Capel, they were just here 2 weeks ago. They are appearing together off-Broadway in Two Jews Talking at the theater at St. Clement's. Lilias White is on Broadway in Hadestown at the Walter Kerr Theater. Alan Menken, we mentioned him before. Make sure you see Aladdin at the haunted New Amsterdam Theater on Broadway. And he also, Alan Menken, wrote the music for Little Shop of Horrors,
Wow.
which features now our friend Stuart Zagnit playing Mushnik. That is at the West Side Theater off-Broadway. And then don't forget Jim Caruso's cast party every Monday night at Birdland. Dr. Demento making new and old Dr. Demento shows. Find them at drdemento.com. And our good friend Bob Cudmore doing podcasts of upstate New York history at bobcudmore.com. And check out stagebuddy.com for news about New York nightlife. That website was founded by our friend Evan Seplow. And want to give a shout out to all the writers of TogleTheater.com, including Ann Siegel, who writes about Milwaukee, Willard Manis, who writes about shows coming out of Los Angeles, and she will be writing again in a couple of months. Our beloved Mary Shen Barnage from Chicago, still recuperating from some very serious, unfortunate medical stuff, but she's getting better. We heard from her, got a wonderful email from her. Mary Shen getting back to her old self, and soon enough we'll be going back to the theater and writing for TogleTheater.com. Those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, yes. So we've done so much today. Oh my God, we had a wonderful quiz with Robert and Leslie and Vicki. We had our new sign for episode 866, which this was. Ghost Town for Robert's book, Good Morning, Honor. And we did our Greeley Crimes and Old Times. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff. We had a pretty full episode. But it's not quite complete until I ruin it with a miserable, well, no, they're joyful, but they're sick. They're depraved, they're wrong, they're rude. They are our Colorado limericks of the damned, because Joyce and I lived in Colorado for a bunch of years, and I got it into my head And if you've been watching this show for the last 3.5 hours, you know what goes into this head and what comes out of it. A poem about all these different places in Colorado. Short 5-line limerick poems, one about each and every place I can think of and can work with. And so just yesterday I was thinking, well, you know, I need to think of another one. I don't want to stop these. I've already got 220 something of them. So can I think of another one? And then I'm thinking. It was the middle of the afternoon and I was exhausted. And I write, and I'm like, oh, I can do this. And I wrote 2 lines, and I think I know what my last line's going to be. And I tried to nap for 15 minutes, and then woke up and said, I got my biddle. So there is a new Colorado Limerick of the Damned where we go to Fairplay, Colorado. Fairplay, Colorado. Fairplay is a historic, that's the actual name of it, a historic town in Park County, Colorado. It's part of the Denver metro area, and it is in the area called South Park of Colorado. It's almost 10,000 feet high.
Whoa.
So it's like 2 miles up there.
That's like, that's super high.
Population of about 700 people. It was a gold mining town that was part of the Pikes Peak Gold Rush.
Oh, okay.
In fact, it was settled by prospectors who were in other mining communities, and they felt they weren't getting a fair shake. So
they wanted
quite
fair
truly,
play, yeah.
they went to another place and they called it Fairplay.
I love it. I love that.
Now today, Fairplay is a quiet town with some retail, also an open-air gold rush museum where they have
that's lovely. I
little
like that.
implements and things like that, the carts that they used to push. And yes, Fairplay inspired South Park, the TV show, visually. The look of the place inspired the guys who wrote South Park, though the characters in South Park are more inspired by Boulder.
Okay.
Apparently.
Oh, wow.
And the South Park Community Church, which is in Fairplay, was built in 1874.
Wow.
It's still there. It's on
I
the
bet you
historic
they have
register.
ghosts.
It's a one-room church. They probably
They have
do.
ghosts,
Yeah.
man.
National Historic Registry for the South Park Community Church. So all this lovely stuff
Yeah.
about
Now you're going to butcher
Fairplay, Colorado, right? The miners having a better life. These cute little quaint shops and towns, and the museum there, the historic registry, and yet, I've written a poem about it. Oh! I didn't even play the proper music for the Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
You're the poetry man.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Rocky Mountain, Colorado, Colorado.
Oh, Colorado, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, yes. So, Fairplay, Colorado, it's a real place, and this is a real poem written by me, our Colorado Limerick, all right, of the Damned. I need silence, please, for the limerick. Here it is. A lousy musician from Fairplay wrote songs that no DJ would dare play. Although quite unlawful, his songs were so awful, he traded free blowjobs for airplay. Please send your comments, complaints, and everything else to davesgoneby@aol.com. davesgoneby@aol.com. Yes, I try and read every email that you send. You can also post your comments on the Facebook page. You know, if you're a friend on Facebook, you can message me too. But I love hearing from you, even if I can't respond to each and every one of you individually. davesgoneby@aol.com. And yes, if you want to read all these limericks, and literally all 200 of them, except the last couple, are online. They're on my other website. It's davelefkowitz.org. davelefkowitz.org. You know, Robert Viagas has all these books. I've got my name on a couple of books, but mainly you can read my stuff on this website. It's a collection of my theater reviews, my essays about things, my comic pieces, all my song lyrics, and my one-act plays and my full-length plays too. davelefkowitz.org. And if you just look up Limerick there, Oh, you can have an afternoon going one after the other, after the other, after the other. Just one more. It's one thing to read one, and it's kind of silly and goofy and depraved. This one wasn't really, well, blowjobs.
Yeah.
But yeah. But and isn't it interesting that they mentioned BJ's earlier in the show,
Yes,
and then
of
it
course.
turns
I
up
think
again?
You probably paid Leslie to say that.
Serendipity. No, I find that hard to swallow. But but you can find the limericks there, and when you take them one after the other as a whole, and you read like 15 of them at a time, you realize just how really fucked up and strange my brain is, and just what kind of human being am I? I think the answer to that is barely one at all, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you for tuning in and watching this every week. It's called Dave's Gone By, humor, talk, music, 9 until noon or thereabouts. We're finishing this episode on the 1st of October, 2022. And here's the deal. I'll put this up on davesgoneby.com and also the Facebook page, reminding you, telling you that we will not be here next Saturday. I know, Rabbi Saul will have the Shabbos off. Next Saturday, we won't have a show, but we are having a special 1-hour episode this Thursday night, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, right here, same usual place here on this channel, on this Facebook page. Tune in. It's going to be our 20th anniversary. So, back on October 6th, 2002, Joyce remembers this. She always tells the story. Nervous me. I showed up at the radio station 3 hours early with pages and pages of notes to start this new idea I had for a radio program. We go to WGBB. At that point, it was in Limerick, Long Island. Get off the train, get to the station, waiting. And I got like 56 minutes and 45 seconds worth of material to do in 57 minutes. Yeah. Just timing it. And I worked on it all week to the detriment of everything else I was doing. It was just like, I'm doing this show. And it's going to be comedy, but it's also going to be reviews of theater and music and stuff like that. And maybe I'll have guests, but it's not about the guests. I'll play some music and I'll play some comedy bits, and I'll just fill 57 minutes in my own very special way. It's not Howard Stern, but it's influenced by Howard. It's not Dr. Demento, but it's influenced by not John Gambling. It's not Vin Scelza. And yet there's little bits of all of that. This is what I want to do. This is what I love, being on the radio. And I went on there, and in a flash, 57 minutes just over like that.
I agree.
And almost everything went right. Not everything does, not everything can. It was live. Every part of it was live. I think I pre-recorded a couple of pieces, and obviously I played some songs. I think I played a Neil Young song and a Joan Rivers thing. It's amazing how I get done like 4 segments barely in 3.5 hours now. And I had 8 segments and I finished them in 57 minutes. But I don't know. It was an amazing moment. It was the moment when I realized this is what I want to be doing. I wanted it to be doing it as a career. That didn't work out. But as a life-saving, soul-saving hobby, that is what I have been doing almost every week after week after week, since October of 2002. There were times I had to take a month or two off. We moved.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I would take sometimes part of the summer off when I was on college radio at UNC Radio.
That's kind of longer than many people are alive or relationships. It's a long
show. It's an amazing thing. So there were times when a month would go by, I wouldn't do a new show.
That's true.
Right. Or even 2 months. And I think shows between now and December might be scarce, as I have a ton of grading to do and other things, but I'm trying to keep them going. And so, to commemorate the 20th anniversary, quite literally, the minute I went on the air 20 years ago, it was 20 years ago today.
Do you have reserved? You won't say who the guests are. Leslie will pop in.
I'm hoping Leslie will pop in.
Who else did you say?
I'm hoping.
Are you announcing or no?
Well, no, I will announce that on the very first episode, and then it's a long story to tell. We'll probably tell it on
But just
on
say
Thursday.
who the guests are so people know.
Well, there's only one so far. But it is a guy who, how do I put it? So when we went on the air at 11 o'clock at night, back in 2002 on Sunday nights, before us was a show called Entertainment Long Island, which was hosted by a fellow named Don Lewis.
Oh yeah.
And it was just talking, it was extemporaneous stuff, and he'd review stuff on Long Island or have guests who were doing shows on Long Island and things. I don't even remember what it was about.
I think it was just a variety show.
Yeah.
Did he first have Eddie Hug, or did you have him?
No, that was the thing. On Don's show, he had a friend of his named Eddie Hug, who had a kind of a country bandish thing called Eddie Hug and the Moonshiners, which, they would come on, and when Don didn't have any material, he'd say, okay, guys, play a song for 2-3 minutes. And it'd be like the 6-piece country folk band, and guitars, and they have an accordion, they have this whole group, and they're squeezed into this tiny studio in Limerick, Long Island. And they would play, and Joyce always loves telling the story as how I would be in there doing my show at 11 o'clock, and they have to, this is why the hosts got only 57 minutes after a full hour, instead of the full hour when you were at the radio station. It was not so much to have commercials, but so that there would be transition time between one host clearing out of the studio. There was only one studio. You couldn't flip back and forth between 2 different places. There was one studio. So one host had his records, her records, her notes, anything they were playing, any carts, any cassettes, any this, any that, any instruments, to clear out, go away, and then the next host has to come in. That takes time. So there'd be 3 minutes to do that. So Don and his gang would clear out, so I could get there like 11 o'clock, start my show, which was so tightly wrapped at that point. And then like 5 minutes into my show, we hear like a little soft knocking, and Joyce would get the door, she would be with me, and she would hear like, we need my ocarina.
Yes. I'm like, I don't see it. They're like, under the desk.
Yeah. The band would accidentally leave. Like, they'd be packing up so quickly. They'd leave a clarinet, they'd leave a banjo. It was
One
like,
time they left a groupie.
Oh, well, yeah, I kept her under my desk, I'll tell you that. Oh! So it was this thing, and one time it was our Halloween show. I actually asked them to stay on, and they said, you know what, guys, stick around here. Or they were hanging with Don or something. And they accompanied me on a parody song that I did. It was when...
Oh, with Joe?
There was a sniper.
Oh, boy.
I think it was a DC sniper was killing people. And I think they caught him, and they were going to execute him or something like that. So I did Hobo's Lullaby, but I recast it as the Sniper's Lullaby. And I said, you guys are here, can you accompany me? And they did. It was so cool. They did Hobo's Lullaby, and I had Eddie Hug and the Moonshiners backing me. Well, I did a little bit of tracking, which wasn't that hard to do. Eddie Hug is now a Tai Chi instructor, and he's still a musician, and he teaches musical instruments. He's still on Long Island. You can go find him, and I went and found him. So Eddie Hug has stories about the years he was at WGBB, the times he was doing Entertainment Long Island with Don Lewis, the show that was directly before mine. Unfortunately, he did say Don Lewis died a couple of years ago.
Oh, no.
Because I couldn't for the life of me find Don Lewis.
That's why, yeah.
So he's gone. But Eddie Hug is alive and very, very well indeed. And Eddie Hug is going to join us via Zoom live on our 20th anniversary.
I'd love to catch up and see what he's doing.
Yes.
That'll be really
yes.
Good.
The man
great.
Who he wasn't on my first show, but he was on our 8th episode.
He was always. It was great.
He was always around. So at the very least,
with the Moonshiners, or did they have like the classic band split?
Well, I think what happened was no, the Moonshiners. I think he even put the Moonshiners together kind of as a thing to just be on Don's show, and they played all different kinds of music. But no, the band kind of went there. He'll tell the story.
Oh, great.
But yeah, he's doing fine, and I'll be excited to talk to someone who has stories. Because I remember certain things, and Joyce remembers certain things, but of what it was like to be at that insane radio station.
Yes, the WGBB.
Back in the day, 12:40 a.m. They're still there on the AM dial, except now they're out in Babylon.
That's going to be
no. They moved to Babylon for a bunch of years, make me schlep my ass out to Babylon, and then a couple of years after I leave, then they go back to friggin' Belmore or Merrick or somewhere. So easy to get to. No, Freeport is where they started.
Oh, okay.
There was WGBB Freeport, which is where the tower was. But so yeah, and other surprises too. I hope to have another couple of guests coming through, stuff to talk about, just stuff to be nostalgic about, old things to play. I'll play a little bit of the very first episode of the show,
That'll be great.
which is kind of special to me, except, you can literally go listen to the whole episode right now by going to
Maybe you can
davescom.com.
narrate some of it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I can intersperse.
Yeah, you can narrate. Yeah, like those films where I think that'll be fun.
So tune in, please, for the
Yeah.
867th. Let me do this, like I used to do here. The 867th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio of the Stream. Not next Saturday morning, but this coming Thursday night, which would be October 5th, right? 3, 4, 5. Wait, today's the 1st, 2nd, 3, 4, 5, 6th. Excuse me, it's October 6th. At 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And please send me, I can read stuff on the air too, of best wishes and congratulations and mazel tovs. I gotta put this on LinkedIn. But the 20th anniversary of Dave's Gone By, to the minute when we started, Thursday night. We'll see you then. Until then, have an easy fast, have a fast. Happy Rosh Hashanah to you. Don't miss your Dave's Going By. Until then. And thank you, babe. Thank you for all your help and for all your love and all those good kind of things. And gone. Bye. Oops. And gone. Bye.
Days gone by. Days gone by. They're gone by. Days gone by. They're gone by.
And now I'm going to sit down and curl up with a lovely Amish romance.